Hello and welcome to Mr. Vintage Show. I'm here today with Sam Alexander.
Hello, Wagwan. Bumper clap.
Wagwan, you are the palest yardie I've ever seen.
Well, I'm Jamaican, man. You're kidding.
Are you
Rastafari.
Do you have a bit of the sauce in you?
Oh, made the reggae sauce. Yeah.
Have you got a bit of reggae sauce in the jeans?
Do you not like me dreads?
No.
I've got the same skin condition as Michael Jackson, so like I'm actually really black.
You're black on the inside but pale on the outside.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't you think it's weird how he had 3 white children? Like blue-eyed white children. It's weird, isn't it?
It is mad. He also said the N-word when he was white, which is really jarring, because obviously he's allowed to say it, but you're like, oh, you're allowed to say it now?
Like, did he choose to not do it when he was black?
I don't know whether he did say it when he was black. I don't know whether there's a clip of it that I've seen, at least, but he would have said it when he was black.
Maybe not in his songs. He's probably really integrated into being white then, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, when he changed over, he's like...
Genuinely. He's no longer hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. How often do you say the N-word?
I would like to say I've never said it, but sometimes every now and then, when I'm a big fan of hip-hop, and I'll just sort of be mindlessly saying the lyrics, and I'll just sort of start saying the N-word, and I'll be like, wait, no, you're not allowed to, and every now and then it'll just sort of slip up. But then I'll make an active point of the next time it comes around in the song, I'll omit it to be like, see, I'm not a racist, anybody who's listening out there. So if it's like a Nas track or something like that, and it just slips out, and I'm like, fuck, I'm a racist now, so I'll be like, sorry, Nasty Nas, I'm gonna not say the next one just for you.
Right. I didn't think you'd be into like the hip hop stuff. Everyone's like Spotify thing has come out, hasn't there?
Yes.
So I thought you'd be like more like indie.
Well, it's funny you say that. I might actually get up these specific genres that came up, because you pretty much are on the money with that analysis there. It's like, surely hip hop would be your go-to. Sorry, surely indie rock would be your go-to and not hip hop. But my top 5 genres goes number 1, jangle pop, 2, alternative rock, then 3, boom bap, but then back to proto-punk and college rock. Basically what that means is I'm a prick.
What's jangle pop?
It's like very reverb, chorus drenched guitars and very shiny and like singy-songy. A bit like the Smiths, I suppose.
I mean, from the name of it, I thought it was like a cross between Japanese pop and jungle.
Jungle?
Like, I expecting baby metal to be like doing like drum and bass stuff.
That needs to be made as a genre now. I think I'm gonna remix that later.
Oh, you make music?
I do. Yes.
What kind of music do you make?
I don't really make as much anymore because I've got horrendous hearing, which is why I stopped doing music. But I used to be in like a heavy metal alternative rock band when I was like 19.
These genres are all over the place for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit of an eclectic mess of a human being where I just like anything I like, I just absorb it into my personality to the point where I'm no longer like cohesive in any single way.
I'm getting sense either keyboardist or bass.
Guitarist? But I was the bassist at first, so I will give you that.
Makes sense.
I upgraded to a guitarist.
Upgraded to the 6 string.
Exactly. They gave me the 2 extra strings. Like, now this is a massive responsibility that you now possess. And I was like, ooh.
Right. Have any of these like creative things you've done like gone like the professional route of making money gone like that way?
Oh, nice one. Just like expose my weaknesses.
Mr. Winter.
It's like, hey, have you ever made money off all your passions, or are you still a broke loser on the dole? It's like, oh.
Mr. Winter, I'll have you know as well.
Mr. Winter, my bad, sorry.
But also, like, it's not that big of a deal to have like one-off shows where you make like 50 quid or like here or there or that. But like making it a consistent thing, do you then fall into the trap of it just being like a normal job?
Yeah.
So aren't you more passionate when it's just like a side project or something like that?
Yeah, I would actually agree with that to an extent. I think part of it as well is I think there's like this kind of dip that occurs in terms of enjoyment and like money you make, where it's like you start to make money and it gets shitter because it becomes like arduous and you have to just push through to get to the next level where you just like are dead rich and you can do what the fuck you want. But in that early stage when it's like, oh, can you give us money at a gig? Like, but I did our band's first ever gig at the Zanzibar when we were 17. We basically just got everybody we knew to go there and we packed it. It was fucking chocker and like it was the maddest gig ever. We felt like we were like Red Hot Chili Peppers or some shit, and we got 40 quid each for that.
I mean, 17 years old, you're a paid professional then.
Yeah.
You know, you can't look back.
And I think I spent it all on marijuana because that's what I was really into at that age.
But, I mean, still now?
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore?
No, I've kind of had like a... Well, I started doing a lot of psychedelics when I was like 18.
Right.
And that basically... I think I was like, I've always been quite an anxious individual. And I think that just like all the psychedelics and like me doing DMT and going to different dimensions just like blew my anxiety up into like another dimension where basically whenever I smoked a joint, I'd be like, ah shit, am I going to die? And it would start to feel really intense. I just can't touch a lot of drugs anymore, really.
Like, so you went quite full in from an early age then?
Yeah.
Because like it's the usual thing where like 11 to 14 you'd like have a drink, maybe like 14 to 16 you might smoke some weed, but you were like DMT at 17, that's like a hardcore thing.
Yeah, I was a weird teenager. I mean, I still am weird, but I was even weirder as a teenager.
So I don't know what that is at all. All I've got in my mind is like the Futurama frog, like the hypnotoad thing. I don't know what these drugs are. Is it just like you're off another plane, you see weird shit?
I feel like hypnotoad is not like a bad sort of, if you've never done it before. I don't think that's a terrible comparison, actually. I'm also just cognizant of the fact we're talking about DMT on a podcast right now, which is just like so fucking Joe Rogan code. This is the way to get revenue.
It's absolutely fine. It's going into the tags of the podcast. So, yeah.
Have you had DMT, bro? I just need to start doing taekwondo and being sexist and then...
Have you seen The Aliens?
I did.
You saw The Aliens?
It did, yeah. It was crazy. It was... So what happens is you gotta do it from a bong and you gotta mix it with like a herbal substitute. And because if you burn the DMT powder, it doesn't vaporize properly and you just...
Oh, of course. You never burn the DMT powder. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Layman's knowledge.
They teach you that in primary school.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I saw, like, these kids in the woods just, like, setting DMT on fire, trying to get high, and I was like, meth, like, do you not have a brain?
Yeah. The one things the kids in Gaza said before they got blown to bits was, don't burn your DMT powder.
Exactly, yeah. And then like, quoted verbatim.
Yeah. Probably in Arabic, but, you know, the same.
Exactly, like they left notes written backwards.
Right. But yeah, like what's been your like? Is there any standout DMT or like drug experiences?
I only did DMT that one time, but you basically, when you're ripping it from the bong, it's crazy because it hits you so fast. So after like one big rip, everything kind of went like pixelated in slow motion. I felt like I was in like a PlayStation 1 video game.
Right.
And everything was like dragged out like this, and I was just a bit like, what the fuck? But I decided I know what I'm doing here. That I wanted to get to the breakthrough stage, which is basically where you transcend physical space and time. So I kept just taking it, trying to basically knock myself out from like this DMT, and I did eventually like get to a point where I no longer could keep my eyes open. So I fell back and just shut my eyes, and there's like this overwhelming like geometric 3-dimensional patterns overlaid on your physical space and perception, and then out of those patterns emerges like these fractal aliens that like dance in front of you, and they were just doing that for me for like 10 minutes, just dancing in front of me and like almost like welcoming me into this different world.
What's the dance?
It's not like a dance, it's more like it's kind of like a, you know, like belly dancers and that, where they do all like that sort of shit.
Right, okay.
It wasn't like they were doing all shapes or anything. They weren't doing a robot, but they were just doing like this nice sort of like flowy, hello Sam.
Like man too old at a nightclub dance.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. Or like lady trying to, like they were almost kind of, not sexy, but like it was almost rather seductive the way they were moving. It was very effeminate, like very like, ooh. Flowy, not robust and burly.
I've now got the image in my mind of like Middle Eastern belly dancer, like you say.
That's a good...
Like, the face thing that's got like the beads.
Yeah, like imagine a Middle Eastern belly dancer just made out of like fractals with no face.
Right.
And that's what I saw.
And this is why I support Israel, because, you know, we need to destroy them all. You know, I mean...
You want to destroy the aliens?
Well,
no, they're the good people.
The aliens, and also, you know, like, Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Japan. They were going around, they were naughty boys, they were going around,
naughty boys, yeah.
They were chopping heads off, they were very angry, they had a very conservative culture, and then they get 2 bombs dropped on them, and now they made anime. Like, that's how they turned out. This is why I support Israel. I want to see what Islamic anime looks like. is going to be boss.
Islamic Anime.
We just need to bomb
Islamine.
We just need to bomb them into Islamine.
Yeah, I suppose what there's the distinction here is that, like, I don't think America wanted to, like, ethnically cleanse the Japanese off the planet. I think they wanted to send a message to be like, stop the war.
Depends who you asked. I mean,
maybe, yeah. Maybe if Israel just did one big ass bomb and then never bombed them again, I could be more partial to them.
You're in as well now. One more. That's
Hang on, I'm not in exactly. I'm deliberating.
No, rewind that back. He's clearly said one more bomb. A big one as well. He wants a big one.
Yeah, I think the problem is they've already had a lot of big ones, you know, and I'm like, you don't just stop that. That's naughty.
So you're against the war?
Yeah. I mean, I would generally say I'm against war in like 99% of every single historical case ever.
So what's the 1% you're like in favour of?
Maybe like World War II, when, like, you know, the Nazis are colonising Europe, or like whenever it's like a colonial project, when it's like this overruling class that are like, yeah, we're just gonna murder a bunch of people and say we own them now. I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe don't do that.
There's a lot of revisionism now. Tucker Carlson's had on, like, Daryl Cooper, these weird David Icke kind of revisionists, like in popular culture. What do you make of that?
Revisionist in what sense?
Like the David Icke, David Irving, revisionism on history. You know, Hitler didn't know about the concentration camps. Maybe it was Goebbels or some of the higher command, and he wasn't that bad.
That sounds dodgy.
Maybe Churchill was actually quite bad in some of the things he did, and then...
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I mean, the thing is, Churchill...
So you're saying Hitler was the good guy?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, you can cut that. You can trim that, so I'm defending Hitler, yeah. I do think that's funny, though, how, like, you know, when you speak to, like, these middle-aged sort of gammon twats, who are like, oh, fucking Churchill, he saved us from the Nazis, like, oh, we'd be speaking German, and it's like, yeah, okay, but don't act like Churchill was, like, this pure fucking saint in comparison to Hitler, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't that far removed, like, morally speaking. I mean, I'm pretty sure Churchill, no, he didn't, it wasn't him who did this, but he didn't invent concentration camps, but the British Empire did in, I think it was, like, Rwanda or South Africa.
There's that thing about, like, the Boer War. And
that's it. Yeah, the Boer War. That's it. That's exactly it. The Boer, however you pronounce that. I'm terrible with pronunciations. And Churchill basically starved a bunch of Bengalese people to death as well, which is essentially tantamount to the exact same sorts of tactics that the Nazis were using against, like, Jewish people and other various minority groups that they were, like, vehemently opposed to. But it's just sort of like, it is interesting how history is presented as, like, this binary, yeah, good guy defeats bad guy, when in reality it's just like, oh, horrible guy defeats other, maybe more horrible guy, in terms of pure numbers.
Also, like, I mean, you know, it would be better if, like, Churchill won.
Yeah.
I think we're in a better place because of it.
I think so. So. Yeah, I mean,
you've changed your mind pretty quickly there. You've gone from Hitler great to, like, Churchill great.
Hang on. You're just stripping all the nuance from my comments. I feel like I'm gonna, like, after this podcast, people are like, I never knew Sam was a neo-Nazi. Like, whoa, hang on. I do think it's a good thing Churchill won, yeah. But this is a weird this is a complicated topic, because ultimately all Nazi Germany were really doing in, like, the 20th century was going like, oh, look at what the British Empire have done for the last 100 years, we want to do that, and then we freak the fuck out because like, oh shit, they're gonna do it to us.
Well, are we not the good guys though in that story? Like, even, like, the Empire side.
Yeah, I guess we're the good guys. I mean,
you compare British Empire to, like, you know, Portuguese colonization, or, like, the French. You know, people were running from French and Portuguese colonies to the British because we treated people better.
No, definitely. Like, you look at, like, I think it was, like, in the King Leopold II of, like, for Belgium, absolutely decimated I can't remember, this is actually really bad that I can't remember the country, but I think it was, like, I think it might have been Sudan.
One of the shithole ones, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like, one of those, like, African nation states were absolutely, like, obliterated by the Belgian Empire. But I got into a big argument with Jack recently, actually, about this, about how he was, like, saying, like, oh, like, people need to stop saying that, like, imperialism's just pure evil. And I was just like, why?
What's you taking it then? Is it just pure evil? Just pure.
I think it's maybe not necessarily pure evil, but I don't think you can say a lot of good about like a country that essentially just like murders civilians just to impose their own rule over them. Because we're like, I feel like we're in such a privileged position as Brits. I feel like at this point, Mr. Winter, you're like, oh no, I've got a fervent lefty on my podcast. What are we going to do?
I've had people further. I've had people trying to support, Zach Polanski and that, all that kind of nonsense.
Do you not like Zach Polanski?
Ooh, I mean, try and see the good, the bad, and everything. So getting women's tit sizes up, great, good lad, well done. But the politics is just like fucking leave it up. Come on, just stick it to the pubs or whatever.
Where would you say you were lying politically? Like the centre.
Well, on like a political compass test, I'm probably like a circle just around the outside, just hitting
round the outside.
Just
like the Eminem of politics.
Round the outside of politics, yeah, that's what it is. I'm pretty much just libertarian on everything, and not really interested in cultural issues that much.
Okay.
I mean, some cultures are better than others, but and you know what ones are the bad ones, but aside from that,
that's a good point.
It's just pretty much like freedom all the way. Just say whatever you want to say.
Are you like so libertarian that you've become like an anarchist?
No, I think that the anarchists are a bit of a strange bunch.
Yeah.
You've got to have some form of government. It's just got to be as small as it possibly can be.
I get you. Yeah.
I imagine you're firmly Labour, Green kind of area.
Definitely not Labour. I'm more Green at the moment. I think Labour have just become like these horrible Tory sellouts, practically. Like, I'm on a dole right now, right?
Right.
And it's just so annoying the way we live under a Labour government that have not gotten rid of universal credit and have like just go back to job seekers allowance where it's just like, yeah, just have some money. You know what I mean? Now I have to like prove that I deserve the money because I need a job, and it's like, oh, fuck off.
How would you have it then? What's your ideal system?
See, this is gonna sound like such a cop out, like such a typical lefty cop out, like, oh, you don't even have the answers yourself. But like, I do think there's a book I read recently called Capitalist Realism by Mark Fisher, and he basically makes the point. In fact, I think this might even be like a quote verbatim. He says, it's easier to imagine the end of the world than it is to imagine the end of capitalism. Which is basically to say we're so deeply entrenched in a capitalist world now that it's just like, to even conceive of an alternative is just radically impossible. It's just like, what does that even look like? So for me, I'm kind of like, if we're stuck with this capitalist shite, we might as well just make it very fair. You know what I mean? So, like, for me, I'm very pro-welfare state. I'm very much about, like, making education, healthcare, housing, all these things, and making them as accessible as you can to the populace. That's very important to me, I think, politically.
Well, you're, like, a creative guy as well. Don't you think, like, you get the benefits, but you should also like, dance for them as well. So,
I am dancing for them, though. I'm going to open mics, I'm storyboarding and writing scripts, like, I've got better things to do than get shouted at by Karens on a phone, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, that's essentially what the job centre is saying. It's like, why would you rather make films than clean toilets? Are you stupid? I'm like, oh, yeah, clearly. I must have some sort of mental disability to, like, think that way, you know what I mean?
So let's go through a conversation then. So you got Karen at the job centre, and she's called you up. So, hello, is that Mr. Alexander?
That is Mr. Alexander, yeah.
Right. Have you found a job?
I haven't, no.
You haven't. Have you looked for a job?
I have, yeah. I've been applying online.
Are you just saying that so I'll give you your money?
No, not at all. I've really been applying for as many jobs as I possibly can.
Right. And what are you looking for at the moment?
I guess admin.
Admin?
Yeah.
What kind of admin?
Just anything that involves me, doing administration.
I've got the sense, Mr. Alexander, that you're still looking to make your films and do your open mics.
Films? What? No, filmmaking's for losers. What? I don't do filmmaking.
Right. Right. Because I've been looking up at your social media posts as well. Mm-hmm. Looks like you're trying to hire an actor.
Hey, you work for the job centre. You shouldn't be intruding on my personal life like this. This is a violation of my privacy.
Right. So you still want your money then?
Yeah, I do actually.
Right.
I've been looking for a job. I can do multiple things at the same time. You don't have to corner me into this box, you know.
Right. Well, we've actually just got a job opening come up as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What job?
Well, I don't know if you've seen the news or not,
Right.
but things aren't going too well in the country.
Are they not? I thought they were
No.
going smashing.
No, and the thing is, we're desperately afraid the world's going to run out of anime. So what the Israelis are going to do is they're going to put a fix to that problem, but they need someone who can be creative and send out positive messages to the Gazans while they're being blown to bits. Can you do it? If you say no, we're taking the money away. You've taken the piss too long now. Come on.
I've taken too long to answer.
Yeah. No, you've not got a job in enough time and you're taking the piss. So if you say no to this job, we're taking the money away.
Okay, I mean, let me just get some details
Okay.
established first.
Would you like to phone a friend and get like a moral counsellor on the line?
No, I'll save that phone a friend for a future occasion.
Okay, okay.
I would like to ask: am I only warming the hearts and minds of the Gazans, or is there any practices, or is there anything practical I can do to actually help them resist colonialist oppression, or is that not part of the job?
So you're in a skyscraper in Tel Aviv, and you've got a massive bay view window of
Yeah.
Gaza,
Yeah.
and you can see them all walking around because it's like very close to it, so you can see them all walking around, and you're watching them as the bombs go down, and your job is to say to a microphone, "Stay there, don't move." This is for the good of the world. We're getting Islamine.
What I love about this is it just proves that, like, the government actually are really Zionist, and, like, like, I could so imagine the job centre actually being like, what, you don't want to bomb Gazans? Like, well, everybody needs a job, Sam, and I'm just like, oh, is that what I've got to do, is it?
I mean, in this situation, it is. Like that's the job. What are you going to do?
I kindly refuse.
You kindly refuse.
Yeah.
Well, I hope the film works out.
Yeah. I'm not getting me doll money anymore.
No, phone goes down, job centre's done, so you've got to make the film a success. So what's the film? You told me about this film you're making.
Okay, so it's a short film I'm directing. It's going to be my first ever directorial project. It's about a poet on the verge of suicide who gets interrupted writing their suicide note in public by a stoner.
Right, it sounds like everyone's first film, to be honest.
Thank you.
So yeah, so on to suicide then. Like, why does suicide come up in like such a big way in the film?
Why does suicide come up in film?
No, in your film in particular? Like, why is this such a big part of it?
So I think what's important for me in this film is I'm trying to emphasize the importance of connection in a moment of crisis. So I think when somebody is that depressed and somebody is that at the bottom, so thoroughly questioning everything, that's like whether anything is meaningful in their life, the way to approach somebody in that sort of situation is not to out-logic them and be like, oh, well, you should be happy because you have X, Y, and Z, or like, oh, don't worry, it's all going to be fine. You shouldn't speak to them that way. You should almost see them for who they are, almost respect them for like the misery that they feel, and not try and out-argue them, but just be present with them. And that's essentially what this film is about, this sort of random scouse guy who's just basically a bit of a John Ed. He just smokes weed every day, and he's just like, oh, what are you doing there, lad? And he's just like, I'm writing a poem. And he's like, oh, it's gay, that lad. And he's just like, what? And he just starts like ripping into the fact he's a poet and that sort of thing. But eventually they create this dialogue where they sort of like get speaking to one another about their life experiences, and that is way more meaningful than if the stoner character had just simply said, oh, well, like, fucking get over it, you know what I mean?
Right. And why is this man suicidal? Like, what's...
We never find out, like, specific details because I think that would cheapen it, but he basically speaks about this innate feeling of alienation and isolation, that he feels like there's some essential feature of being human that's been left out and excluded from him, that he feels like he's drifting through life seeing everybody else understanding what it means to be human and find connection and feel grounded in their existence, while he just feels like I don't feel like I want to be here and I don't feel like I understand other people.
But doesn't he have to like feed a dog or something though? Like
feel a dog.
feed a dog or something?
The poet doesn't have a dog.
No.
He'd be a rubbish dog owner. He's too depressed. He'd just end up starving to death. You know what I mean?
Does he not have something where he's just like, I've got to be up in the morning. I can't be thinking about all the suicide stuff.
Well, I think the stoner character tries to sort of redirect him towards his poetry, but then he's just like, well, I'm a poet. That's never gonna go anywhere. So that doesn't really make me want to stay alive.
Okay then. Well, poetry as well. Are you big on poetry?
I do like poetry a lot. I'm not like the most well read when it comes to poetry. Like there's a lot of poetry that I've like not encountered before, but I do have like a few poets that I really, really enjoy and always go back to.
Such as?
I love, at the moment, I really love Ginsberg and T.S. Eliot. Those two are really doing it for me. I also love Sylvia Plath because I'm a fucking miserable piece of shit. And Bukowski because I'm a miserable piece of shit.
I was half expecting you to start going, water, water everywhere.
Yeah. But it is like a medium I revere. And I get into arguments with people where they're like, oh, poetry's like wanky and pretentious. And I'm just like, that's such a boring take. And the person who I've had this argument with might hear this and they'll know exactly who they are. And they're wrong.
Right, well, you're fucking wrong. You know, you've been told.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Winter.
There we go. So, gay poetry, what's the best one?
Probably, there is a poem by Ginsberg called Many Loves, where he basically, it's like a graphic description of him having sex with another man.
Right. I didn't actually mean like gay poetry. I meant like poetry is gay, which is the best one.
Oh, I see.
That works as an answer as well, I guess.
Well, I suppose that might actually serve as a good answer then. But what's like the most gay poem that's not like literally gay but figuratively gay?
I think like all of Poe is gay. Like just like very, very sad and very like strict form.
Yeah, yeah, or like what's her name? Emily Dickinson maybe is like a bit like very flowery.
All women writing is gay. You know.
Yeah, that's yeah. Bloody women and their homosexuality. I did have a theory at one point. I thought every woman on the planet was bisexual. Because
I still think that now.
Because I always feel like women are so much more attuned to like feminine beauty than like a man is attuned to masculine beauty. You know what I mean? Like that's almost like a aspect of the male psyche that doesn't exist, but it seems to be almost like ubiquitous for ladies, where they like will look at another lady and be like, "Oh my god, girl, you're gorgeous," slaying, and they're like change in the changing room together. But that's probably just like my stupid male brain interpretation, you know.
Do you know who else I've heard that from?
Go on.
And you're not gonna like this.
Go on.
Because now you're just like now in my mind on a parallel with Milo Yiannopoulos.
Oh no.
You're like the same person in my mind now. Because he said this as well.
But he probably said it in a horrible, condescending way.
Yeah, he said like lesbians don't exist.
Lesbians don't exist. I find that fascinating. No, I don't think that's true. I think maybe it's the case that women are only attracted to women, and then a lot of them are attracted to men as well.
You've got me lost there.
It's like the reverse, where it's like instead of there being no lesbians, it's like they're all more lesbian than straight, or like there's more lesbianism there.
Everyone's a lesbian.
Not everyone, but women might all have more lesbian in them than straightness, but...
Now that's got me around with the Berlusconi quotes, like everyone's got a bit of gay in them and mine's a lesbian.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, what a guy.
What a guy, Milo Yiannopoulos, you know. Like, I do think there is something about Milo Yiannopoulos where it's like, they clearly resent the fact they're gay, you know, and it's kind of heartbreaking.
Shall we say who it is as well? Because not everyone's going to know, so...
Oh, yeah.
So in your mind, who is Milo Yiannopoulos?
He's a conservative commentator, political commentator, who is very flamboyant, openly gay, but they have a lot of wild, like, misogynistic, racist takes that are very in vogue with, like, the far right. But the last I heard about Milo Yiannopoulos was they were, I hope I pronounced that like vaguely right, was they were seeing a conversion therapist.
Yes, he's converting to become straight. And this is
so sad.
This is after like 2014 to 2016 era.
Mm-hmm.
He was openly just promoting Donald Trump, calling Donald Trump daddy, and saying like how he's, you know, a Trump supporter and he's gay and he's got like a black boyfriend, and he looks black dick, and all this kind of stuff, and it's just hilarious.
I back it.
It's absolutely hilarious, and the Liberals on the other side just like don't know how to argue with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's what have we got? And then he's come out now. He's ex-gay. He's straight. He's super straight. He's also. I saw like an interview with him with Candace Owens. He's going blind, and he's got like these glasses on all the time now. So he's like Stevie Wonder. And just at one random point in this podcast with Candace Owens, they just randomly bring up the fact that they both believe dinosaurs don't exist, and just have that's where we've got to. It's great.
Yeah, they seem like credible people to listen to, don't they?
No, it's so much fun. No, it's fun. We're at a weird point where politics is fun, and a lot of people are against that and like are upset and a bit scared by who's in charge of the nukes. But at the same time, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Well, that reminds me of how when I was younger, my mum and uncle used to say to me that they would like if Boris Johnson was like running for prime minister, they would vote for him because both parties are so shit that they might as well have like the entertaining buffoon in power. I don't think she did vote for Boris Johnson in that election, but I do understand the philosophy there of like, if we live in like this bland corporate landscape, why not just have like the silliest leader in place? But I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but I definitely see the kind of rationale there.
Well, it's also going the other way as well. Like Zach Polanski is not like a serious political theorist. He's like, a silly guy who makes women think they've got big tits. Yeah, it's fun. It's all fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. I suppose the problem with politics is it does like actually impact people's lives. I'm so boring and like serious, aren't I?
Well, that sounds boring. Come on, just call like a journalist a faggot. It's great. It's fun.
Maybe I'll start pretending to be gay to get the F word pass.
I mean, you can. It's always an option. Just go to whatever cultural group, get the passes, and then get out.
And are you going to follow through with that plan of wearing blackface and using the N-word pass?
I don't know where this allegation has come from. But I reject it, and I think Sam, you've got some explaining to do.
The explanation is perfectly simple. That's what you said you wanted to do before this podcast started.
You're going to have some very interesting conversations at the job centre following this podcast.
Okay, like the skin pigmentation surgery in Tropic Thunder or shows at a job centre is like black, just to see if it helps my employment chances with like the sort of like equality, the quotas. But I don't think that will go particularly well because we live in a fundamentally racist society, and also what I'd be doing there, it would also be extremely racist.
It'd be fun though.
It would be, yeah. It would be like interesting to see how well I could pull off black, maybe.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Can you do the voice?
No, I'm too white for that. I'm like, I've got my legs crossed and I'm drinking scotch. I'm like,
a few more drinks and you'll be doing the black voice.
I mean, I sucked at basketball as a child. You know what I mean? Like,
oh right.
I'm so dyspraxic that my like dimensions, like my spatial frame is very white. Right. Even if I had black skin, you'd be like, no, that's like a white man in disguise. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, well,
I have no idea what the fuck this conversation has become.
It's fun. It's great. We're doing Milo Yiannopoulos, Candace Owens, no dinosaurs, black voice. It's great.
So you do believe the dinosaurs are real?
I'm a bit on the fence now.
You're on the fence? After Milo?
No, I'm joking.
King Milo. It's like, now that he's straight, you're like, oh, what an authority.
I mean, it's a fun podcast to listen to.
Yeah.
Anything with Milo and Candace, like the French president's wife's a man. It's great. It's fun. Michelle Obama's a man.
Yeah.
It's just all fun. Everyone's a man.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah. And the French
that was shit. I'll retract that.
No, that was great. Do that on your stand-up. It's great.
That's how shit my stand-up is. That would be a good line in my set. I do find conspiracy theorists like very amusing though, because there's like this kind of like urgency with which they spout their nonsense that is like quite endearing, like they're sort of like, oh, like, you actually think dinosaurs are real? And I'm just like, I don't really care whether they're real or not. I'm just like some human that'll like be dead in 100 years. Like, it means nothing in the grand scheme of things. And like,
100 years is a lot as well. You're going for like the long run.
Well, like at least 100 years. I don't think I'm gonna make 125. You know what I mean? I think I'd be happy if I get 70, to be honest. I reckon I'd be like that sort of, like, you know, like when those cool actors die in the mid-60s, I feel like I'd be one of them. I feel like I'd be like a David Bowie, you know what I mean? Like 65.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's this person who's out there who wants to extend his life, and he's done like all this weird experiment stuff, and he looks good. He's in like his 40s and he looks good, but when you extend your life, you're not getting like more of your 20s. You're getting your 80s, and your 90s, which are shit years.
Exactly.
So what's the point?
No, exactly. I completely agree. Like when you see people legging it on like the treadmill in the gym, I was like, I do get it. Like it probably makes you feel boss now. Like I feel like shite because my breakfast consists of coffee and cigarettes, but like, you know, at the very least, I'm having more fun than you. Like, is that really fun? I always think, you know, like if there's one person in this world that I would like to just get rid of, I think it's
The
gym.
blacks? Oh no, okay.
No. It's not ethnically based. It's gym goers. It's like mentality based. Like, you know, like people that like. The thing, I detest boring people. You see, and I do. If this is a podcast for dark thoughts, I feel like my dark thought as of late has been like, do we really need neurotypical people to exist? Like, what do they do? What do they serve? They don't serve any purpose.
You're like even more autistic Hitler.
Yeah, but like, see, the thing is, like, killing Jews and that's boring. Like, that's such a rubbish reason to be angry at somebody that they're like Jewish, and you have like these false preconceived notions of like what their religion are doing to the world. It's all rooted in like paranoia and nonsense, but like, you speak to like the most boring person you've ever spoken to in your entire life, like they're not autistic. You know what I mean?
Like, why are you alive?
Yeah.
It's just like they're so like not even vanilla because vanilla's got a flavor. It's like the way you can't describe nothingness.
Exactly.
Because when you think of nothingness, there's like something there, like a blank emptiness or white emptiness.
Exactly.
Even that's like too much of a strong flavour for these boring neurotypicals.
So I mean, you know, like that Love Island core breed of person.
You just get to round them all up.
Honestly,
yeah.
Like if you go to like Concert Square and it's like those irritating muscly men with like the polo shirts on that are too tight to accentuate their muscly build, and you just like think, why don't you just buy a shirt that fits you, fucking melt? And they're like downing vodka and like, oh, this is so fun, and then they sexually harass a lady, and you're just like, why don't you just die?
I mean, do you know, when it's such a gay description, you said the sexually harassing ladies. I thought you were going to say, why aren't they sexually harassing me?
Like exactly, like that's why I'm angry that they're going for the ladies. I'd rather they like felt me up out on Concert Square, a place that I frequent often. Yeah, like those people deserve to be shot, basically.
But isn't there like, you know, I've got some shit art in the room. Isn't like aesthetic beauty like something to be just enjoyed just for the sake of it?
Yeah, but like you can be like a beautiful man and not be like some like essentially like a primate in the way you behave, where you're just like, oh.
I don't know if you can though. That's
can you
the
not?
thing. Alcibiades, like he wasn't like a genius, and like the people who were like the uggos, like Plato, they're the clever people, but they're also like fucking, you know, he's not going up on a poster. He's not going to get a statue made of him. Well, he does, but like it's fucking nothing to look at.
But to kind of justify my initial point, Plato was definitely autistic.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like all them philosopher people, like Socrates even more so than anyone. All them people, neurodivergent as fuck. That's why Socrates got killed, because all the neurotypicals, like he's proper weird and just like we can't be arsed with them anymore. Like having arguments in the street with people about like morals. Like I don't even know what that means.
Well, it was always like he's a fucking nonce as well. Like it's a society of nonces, but in the society of
was
nonces,
he a nonce? Was he?
He was like, I think he was like the nonce's nonce.
Yeah, that's quite an ancient Greek thing, that they all just kind of shagged each other.
Yeah.
Like even kids and that.
Yeah.
Which is bad. I would also get rid of pedos. That's like obviously goes without saying, but.
But then if you get rid of the pedos, like if that rule applied retrospectively, you'd have to get rid of all Greek philosophy.
They're already dead anyway. That's like, it's not a problem anymore. I'm talking about now. It's like, what people would I exterminate, basically?
So if the pedos have made something good, we can keep that, but just kill the pedo.
Yeah.
You then also get in a weird situation where maybe the pedos create something so good, you need to keep them alive, so they keep making the good things. But then also, if they're not like enjoying life, they can't make the good thing. So then you need to like you then need to
like
Fly the pedo
satiate their urges. My goodness.
or like a methadone version, like a doll or something. Just so,
Yeah.
like Michael Jackson, like before he made Thriller. If everyone knew then he was a pedo, and they're like, oh, it's too good to lock him up.
Yeah.
You keep doing it, but you're under house arrest. But you know, one kid a week. That's max. That's it.
I think what you do in that circumstance is you give them like a powerful psychoactive hallucinogenic that completely alters the way they perceive reality, and then you give them like this AI child doll.
Just midgets.
No, not midgets. Like, in a perfect world, you let them think that they're like molesting a child, but it's just like their brain's fucked on drugs, and then they continue to create wonderful inventions that salvage humanity, you know what I mean?
Jimmy Savile and the Seven Dwarfs.
Something along those lines.
We need Top of the Pops to keep running, but you're such a bad man.
That's what I mean. You give them like a robot doll on LSD. You know what I mean? And then like, you know, like take clips from like old CBBC shows like The Magic Roundabout of them like being like, wow, or something, I don't know. And then like, essentially if there was like a pedo who had like the answer to like cure cancer, but he was withholding it because he knew he couldn't molest children anymore, this would be like the ethical solution to that problem. Because you save so many lives by curing cancer, but you also can't gift them a child to molest. So you have to like trick them into thinking they've actually molested a child when they haven't, you know.
Yeah. Right after he's smoking a cigarette, he's just go like, okay, now give us the cure to cancer.
Yeah, exactly. You let them calm down from the trip, make sure you get rid of the doll so they don't put two and two together, and then you're like, oh, wasn't that brilliant? And
two and two is also his favourite ages as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Not every podcast has gone this way. I don't know what you've done.
No. Well,
I'm blaming you.
I do have a lot of dark thoughts, you know, like, I can't remember who was saying it, I think it was Larry David was saying, like, you know, if anybody ever read his mind, he like, for like a minute, he'd be in prison, because he'd be like, my god, like, you have all these horrible thoughts. It's like, I feel very similarly. Like, even yesterday, I was in town, and I couldn't remember what it was specifically that was annoying me about people, but, like, you know when people just stop in front of you when you're walking and just like look around, and you just like, people like you literally deserve to be shot. Like, this is why I love going to cities like London. Everyone's on it. They're like, they know how to walk to places without getting in the way. But in Liverpool, they don't have that, like, I say privilege, but they don't have that reality of being so overpopulated that anyone that stops creates like actual calamity, you know, like it creates a catastrophe. So in Liverpool, people just don't know how to walk from point A to point B, and I just want to like strangle them and throw them away.
I've heard you say many times you hate Scousers and you think they're terrible people.
That's it, yeah. I'm like a trans like Londoner.
Right.
Like, wish I was born in London than like Liverpool, which is not really true, but I do find as I grow up, I think this is true for anybody that's sort of like, I don't think a lot of people are content staying where they've been born their entire life. And I think I'm in that kind of phase of my life right now where I'm like, I can't stay in Liverpool forever, you know.
London,
yeah.
Are you from Liverpool?
I'm from Liverpool, yeah.
Which bit?
Hunts Cross.
Boo. I don't even know where that is.
It's a very, very nondescript, underwhelming part of Liverpool in the south next to Speaking Garston.
Right, okay.
It's as boring a place you can imagine, essentially.
So is it like nice like Egbert, or...?
It's like, imagine Egbert, but like nowhere near as middle class, like kind of like a bit more working class, and like it's got no interest. It's got Camp Hill. Camp Hill's a lovely park.
Right. So you're like living in the road between middle class and lower class Liverpool.
I suppose. I don't even know if class comes into it here, because I feel like I'm very much the sort of person who's, I'm actually like almost poorer than working class, do you know what I mean? Like, my family is so poor. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that's interesting? I've always thought that class isn't really to do with money, because you know you can be from like the upper class, aristocracy, and your family could have no money because it's all like in wealth and estates and property that you don't have cash like in your bank.
Yeah.
But like you're upper class, whereas you can be like, you can be from a lower class family, and your family's got like owns like a plumbing business.
Yeah.
So they got like minted, but
Fucking...
they're also fucking scum. So
yeah, I know what you mean
so
a bit by that.
There's like that divide really. So you'd consider yourself working class?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, well, almost certainly, yeah. But then the thing is, I've never had like a working class job. Like I think class is a lot more complicated than simply like lower, like working class, middle class, upper class, because it's like...
It's also like not what job you have, it's like what job your parents have. It's what the family that you were born into.
Yeah, like my mum's civil service, which is like, I guess that's working class, but then it's like...
Oh, you're fucking middle class as fuck.
But she doesn't earn a middle class wage.
It's not money, it's like, it's status, it's different. So like,
yeah,
civil service is like, not the best money, like not like banker money, but the status and like the social circles are a level above. Like what? Like do you know both your parents, mum and dad?
I had not spoken to my dad in 10 years.
Was he in the household when you grew up?
He was never in the household, but I did know him for a period of time.
Middle class. Middle class.
Was he middle class?
No, middle class.
The fact I had two parents at one moment in my life.
Got a dad,
even if like my parents are always separated, it's like, no, you had two parents.
You know his name. You're middle class.
I've never thought about it that way.
If there's the possibility you may get a Christmas card, you're middle class.
Oh, there's no possibility.
No, when you were a kid.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Nice to see how the other half live. The house that you grew up in, did it have like a back garden?
Yeah.
Fucking knew it. Middle class.
Well, it's more like it's technically a back garden, but it's more like a front garden the way my house is oriented.
Right.
It's hard to explain. It's a side garden.
If your house doesn't come like in like a standard prefab kind of build, middle class. If there's something unusual about it like that, middle class definitely.
But what's unusual about my house is it's really old and shit.
Oh, what, you think that's working class then? Middle
I
class.
would say that's more working.
Middle class.
So far it seems like you're saying like, it almost seems as if you're saying the working class are like richer.
Well, no, they can be like, there can be also like some working class like no money, toothless fucking scumbags. But yeah, just because like, if I had money now,
yeah,
I wouldn't be middle class or like upper class. I'd still be scum. Like, if I like went into a nice restaurant, the middle class and upper class people would smell it on me. Probably because I was walking like with a gold chain and fucking like a wife beater and like, flip flops.
Right? Yeah, of course. I mean, the thing is, like at the end of the day, I'm like some like fucking broke like Dolite right now, which is like, that is in most people's mind's eye the definition of like scum in our society, you know. But
if both your parents died, would you inherit things?
Probably not.
Probably not. Right.
I mean, I think maybe, but like my family don't really have enough money or like real estate to like have that liberty. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, I come from a poor fucking family. You know what I mean?
You're getting some working class points. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I can see the tension, and you're like, fucking hell. He's called me middle class. I'm not enjoying this.
No, but you do have like a point here, because like I essentially do present like somebody who's very like middle class in terms of like the sort of interests that I have, and like the things like I've got a philosophy degree, you know what I mean? Like,
You got a philosophy degree?
yeah.
Where from?
Manchester Metropolitan.
Well, that doesn't count. Working class. Okay.
That's what I mean. I went to a working class uni, but did like a very middle class subject in terms of like if I'm gonna have a genuinely interesting conversation with somebody about philosophy, it's very likely that that's not gonna come from like, say, like, I mean this is obviously like all conjecture, like this is not like a universal rule, but like if I just go up to like an average sort of random person in the pub and say like, oh, shall we discuss phenomenology, they'd probably be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But if it was like some proper well-educated middle class gimp with loads of money and came from like a proper nice household, like detached house where they did violin lessons, they'd probably be more likely to have a conversation with me about something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the Oscar Wilde quote, isn't it? All art is useless. It's like the middle classes are doing like the useless humanities degrees, and the working class are going, I need engineering or something that's going to make me some money. I need to trade.
Well, see, this is the thing I feel quite guilty about. It's just like, I don't want to do a normal job. I think normal jobs are inherently boring and like useless to me. Like, I want to pursue creative passions that I know I'm skilled at. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like the job centre are aware of that, and they hate me for it because they're like you clearly don't want a job. It was like, obviously I don't want a job. I've got better things to do in my time than have a job. Like, you're almost not even allowed to say that in this world. You know what I mean? Like, that's almost like the modern day equivalent of like blasphemy. You know?
Yeah. Right. Well, you've got a new call incoming. We've got another call from Karen at the job centre.
Oh yes, fuck, I hate her.
Hello, Mr. Alexander.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Alexander. How are you doing today?
I'm brilliant. I'm fantastic.
You don't sound too happy to hear my voice.
No, I was really looking forward to hearing from you, Karen. Actually.
Good, good. How's the job search going?
Oh, you know what? It's still not going as well as I wanted it to.
No, is that philosophy degree not coming in handy?
Who would have thought that degree wouldn't get me shit tons of money, eh?
I mean, did you do not very well? Did you get like a third or something? Is that
Got
the
first
problem?
class honours.
First class honours and still not able to get a job now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Would you believe it? It's almost as if philosophy's not like well revered by our modern corporate landscape.
No, when you put your like degree into like job sites, what comes back?
Teaching or law.
Have you thought about those things then?
I taught English as a foreign language in Thailand.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. What did the ladyboys think of you?
They felt really encouraged and welcomed by my like nurturing personality. You know.
Teaching English in like another country, that's like a good career path.
It is, yeah, but it wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you. Why not?
I felt like a lot of the job, how should we say, a lot of what was required of the job role was very redundant and uninteresting.
And those Thai people are fucking annoying as well, you know.
No,
Thai green curry is a bit smelly.
No,
isn't it? After a while.
The Thai people are not smelly. They're the most wonderful, friendly people I've ever met. No, it wasn't. The problem wasn't the people. The problem was the bureaucratic institutions in place that I was like fundamentally at odds with.
Right. Well, we've got another job for you, Mr. Alexander. You're okay. This one does not involve the bombing of Gaza and children.
Thank God.
So you can rest easy. But
that's good to know.
I mean, we've made this very clear. You've got like this one chance, or you're getting cut off. So
that's what you said last time.
That is what we said last time. But,
I think you're just trying to instill fear into me.
We'll never do that, Mr. Alexander.
Really? Okay, sure thing.
Okay, so the job that we've got lined up for you is going into pubs.
Yep.
And teaching the common man about philosophy.
The common man.
So you're using your degree.
Yeah.
You're doing something that's kind of creative and speaking, and not like the average office job.
Yeah.
And you'll make a living out of it.
You'll tell me I'll get a living wage off of doing that.
You will get a living wage off of doing that, but you're not allowed to pursue your other creative interests. That's the trade-off.
Hang on a moment, Mr. Job Centre lady.
It's Karen. I'll have you know my name is Karen if you couldn't tell by
Yeah, but you blend in with like the banal beige landscape of all these bureaucratic institutions that inhabit our lives. Why? How can you have any authority or jurisdiction over what I do in my free time outside of work?
Because it's a conflict of interest that's written into the contractual clause, and you can't do it.
Ugh, I mean, I can do it. I'm a physical like entity that can manipulate physical space around me to do lots of different things.
But legally, you're not allowed to.
But
and if we catch you, you're fucked.
I don't want that job, Karen.
That's the second one you turned down, and this was better than anything you thought it possibly could be.
It wasn't better because you were castrating my existence.
When I called you, you thought this was going to be really bad, and it turned out to be better than what you thought it would be.
But it doesn't even sound that good. It would just be me explaining philosophical concepts to people that probably aren't that receptive to it. They'd probably be drinking a pint of Guinness, being like, "Fuck off! Why are you speaking to me about Simone de Beauvoir when I'm trying to have a pint after work?" It sounds like a horrendous setup to begin with.
Well, also the other trade-off would be that it wouldn't be like left-wing philosophy; it's pure right-wing. It's Douglas Murray just
that suits a Labour government, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why don't you teach right-wing philosophy to the common man so they can come over to our side?
Absolutely. So that was the other trade-off for it as well. But okay, we've got one last job here. You've got to say yes to this one or else.
Right.
Okay?
You said that the two last times?
You said that two last times, but this time it's really fucking serious.
I'm so scared.
Okay, here we go. The last one... I fucked it. Let's go to something else. I genuinely fucking lost what I was going to say.
That demonstrated far more competence than the job centre actually does in a year though.
I actually have a terrible story about the job centre. Let's do that instead of the final thing, which was going to be shit anyway. And you were going to say no to it anyway. So, I was 17, living in a hostel, and I just moved in from uni. So I'd graduated, got my 2-1 in literature and philosophy.
That's 17?
Sorry, not 17, 21.
Oh, right.
So,
That makes sense, yeah. I was going to say, if you graduated at 17, we're like, fucking hell, you're like the smartest person I've ever met. Fucking hell.
No.
Just average.
Got my degree, was looking for work, was looking for anything that would be like just a job. I didn't mind if I was cleaning toilets or whatever, because
Valid.
I just wanted a job, wanted to earn some money, and go to the job centre. As like all my experience, everything the work experience I've done is my degree, and they say, well, we got nothing for you, got to do work experience. And I was like, actually, I want to like earn some money. I need to be able to pay off my overdraft that I've built up. I need to move out of this hostel that I'm living in. And they were like, nope, we've got nothing for you. You've got to do work experience. You've got to work for free.
That.
And I was in such like a fragile state of mind that I took it as, you're worthless. You're not worth any money. And I was already like fucking suicidal. So I went home that night and fucking properly took a chunk out of my arm from it.
Fucking hell.
From this horrible job centre lady.
That's what the job centre does to you. It makes
is.
you hate being alive.
It is.
Because it reduces your worth to just like this transactional, hollow entity.
It is.
Like,
Absolutely.
I can genuinely sympathise with you there, honestly. It's like the lady in the job centre the other week was like, we can't always get our dream job. It's like, well, then I won't have a job. Like, why are you basically telling me to settle for less in my life? Do you know what I mean?
But also a fun end to that is that a year or two later, I'd had a job in security and was working at a festival this one day, and the woman who was at the job centre was trying to come into the festival, and I have to search her bags. And I open a can of Pringles she brings in, and there's a bottle of wine in there, and she's looking very downcast, not looking me in the eye at all, and I'm saying, you can't bring that in, Karen.
Oh, horrible alcoholic.
Put it on the side and tell her,
E.
go in with all your bottle of wine, love.
Scum. That's what she gets for like trying to like force you to resort to slave labour. Like ultimately, like I don't think it's necessarily like a good thing you were like that depressed about it, but I can understand if someone basically says to you, you can only be a slave. You are gonna be like, well, that doesn't make me feel very good about living, does it? Like I understand that.
I wouldn't say like necessarily a slave. Like it wasn't like pick cotton and you're not getting paid for it. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but it's. Ultimately, like, I hate this, like, oh, why don't you do volunteering work experience to make your CV look good, like, all this crap work speak. It's like, let's stop painting that with, like, a nice brush and, like, get to the grips of what that, like the core essence of what you're saying. It's like, why don't you do slave labour so you prove obedience? It's like, no, fuck off, I've got too much self-respect to do that. And then the job centre, like, you know what I mean?
Cut your benefits off.
Yeah, like I basically, my job right now, besides like my like filmmaking pursuits that I'm trying, is gaslight the job centre into think I'm actually looking for work. Like, don't get me wrong, like I do want a job at some point because you can't really function or thrive in this society without like regular, like a decent amount of income. Like I'm only going to be getting paid like, I think it's like £400 a month, which is nothing, do you know what I mean? Like I'm fortunate to live with my mum so I can sort of get away with that, but it's like for the next 6 months, I'm just focused on doing what I want to do in my time, you know what I mean? Pardon me, like,
Right.
just got a bit gassy there, I got passionate.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you started off wanting to kill the neurotypicals and now the gas has come out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right in the middle of one of your
Gotta
speeches as well.
burp in normies' faces and kill them.
You're on the creative side, you've done a philosophy degree, like, tell us, like, what's the clam argument, is that gay?
The what argument?
The clam.
The clam argument, remind me of what that is again?
The clam, the cosmological argument.
Oh, there's like a million of them. What one's that one again? There's like the watch one, there's the fucking like grand cause, first cause, is all like...
It's kind of like a cause one. All things have a cause. The universe exists, therefore the universe has a cause.
I already think that premise that everything has a cause is very flawed.
Right. So is
like, it begins on a very flawed premise that is assumed to be true.
So we're already saying it's teetering towards being a gay argument.
Gay?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Like bad. Like gay as in bad.
If you want to use that vernacular, I suppose, yeah, it's the gayest premise on the planet, yeah.
There we go. The clam is gay. There, we've got that out of... a first-class honours philosophy degree.
Yeah, that's what I wrote in my dissertation. Actually, it was 3 words, and I subverted expectations so vehemently that you're like, we got to give this guy a first. Like, the audacity to write that.
Philosophy is like a broad thing, though. Was there anything like unusual or interesting you did, like outside of the usual Spinoza arguments, classical modern readings?
Well,
That stood out.
My sort of interest in philosophy is, and it kind of always comes back to this question, is like the nature of consciousness. I find perception of consciousness very fascinating. That's why I really enjoy reading like phenomenology. So what I wrote my dissertation on was I was talking about the mind-body problem, which is like, oh, we're physical beings with this mental thing in our brain that's like immaterial. Oh, how does that work? And I wrote an argument about how we can respond to that problem with the Taoist framework, and Taoism is like ancient Chinese philosophy. And I was saying, it's like, just look at like these cool Chinese guys that were like meditating in hills and like 2,000 years ago. They sussed it, right? But like, oh, we've got to wear a suit and work now. Ooh, you know what I mean? Like, fuck off, losers.
I mean, that's also great because now you're no longer like comparable with Milo Yiannopoulos. Now you're comparable with Jordan Peterson because he loves the Tao as well.
Oh,
he uses that in all of his arguments.
Here we go. You know, the thing is, like, I was watching this argument recently that Jordan Peterson was having with, well, funnily enough, it was called initially, like, 1 Christian versus 20 atheists, but then Jordan Peterson was that incoherent, they had to change the title to, like, Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists, because the atheists eventually got at him, like, what actually are you saying? Are you a Christian, or are you not? Yeah. And he wouldn't even give them a clear answer. Yeah. So they had to just completely revert the title of the video. But the thing is, a lot of the points Jordan Peterson was making in that video, I remember watching and thinking, I kind of agree with him, he's just arguing in it in, like, the worst way possible. And then you hear his take on, like, trans rights and, social, like, his sort of thoughts on the socially progressive values, and he just like, oh, like, go away, Grandad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're not a fan of Lobster Grandad then? No.
No, it doesn't do it for me. No. I feel like, I don't know, I find it kind of hilarious that, like, we've become so, how should we say, we're so lost in this, like, bland culture we live in, that now when somebody says, like, maybe you should tidy your room and take some responsibility for your actions, we regard that as, like, fucking, what's the word, like, gospel. We're like, oh my god, what a genius! Like, why didn't I think of that? It's like, well, yeah, that's like fucking... It's all, I love Nietzsche, though. Like, Nietzsche's one of my favourite philosophers. And I do think what's really interesting about Nietzsche is, like, the way I read him is, he says to himself, he's a philosopher that's only going to be understood in 200 years. Like, what he's writing in his time is something that people will not be able to understand, which is also largely true because his work when he was writing was not very well known. It's only because his weird Nazi sister kind of, like, twisted all his words after he died that he got any, like, reputation whatsoever. But what he talks about Nietzsche is he says that, like, now that we've killed God, what trajectory is society going in? And I think basically what he was trying to say was that, like, the human condition is essentially one of fear and one of paranoia, and, like, we've got to be careful not to let, like, these particular idols, how should we say, numb our fear, like, satiate that fear. We have to, like, actually take responsibility for, like, how scary the world is and do something about it. And I do think, basically, when he died, that was kind of, like, the end of, like, how should we say, that was, like, the entry point for, like, secular society, right? And I think alongside secular society, we see the rise of capitalism. And I do think Nietzsche genuinely predicted, like, capitalism and the end of the world through global warming. That's, like, my hot Nietzsche take.
Right, okay.
Like, I don't think Nietzsche knew exactly about global warming, but I definitely think in his intuition he was like, we've got to be careful here, because now that we've killed God, we're going to fuck this up so badly. We can't fill that void. We're going to try and fill that void with something meaningless and arbitrary, and that's what we've done. It's like, oh, buy things and work. It's like, that's fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, how is that the best substitute that we came up with? Like, work, like, 40 hours a week for, like, some horrible company? Like, no.
Make a film.
Exactly.
Make a film about suicide.
Exactly. Nietzsche would love that. He'd love to watch a film about suicide. Like, I don't think cinema was really an art form he encountered, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, Nietzsche would definitely say to me, yeah, fuck, don't give the doll, like, don't, like, give the doll what they want. Make your film.
Nietzsche's a scouser now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, lads, fuck the busies and the doll, lad. You gotta know who you are, lad, and fucking back it, you know me? That's like Nietzsche in Scouse.
Yeah. Well, call the character who's like the stoner guy in your film Nietzsche. Just really hit the nail on the head with it.
Maybe the poet I'll call. It's more in vogue for that character who's quite wordy and obnoxious and not narcissistic but pretentious to be like the Nietzsche model, and then it's just like some Johnny like, oh, you're weird, you lad, like just smoking a jabba.
A jabba?
Yeah.
I don't even know all these words. I'm so out of drug culture.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, you could probably intuit what like a jabba means.
Like a spliff, or
yeah.
Basically, okay.
Yeah. There's like there probably are like 1,300 acceptable different words for a joint in like the English language.
Yeah, it's true. Gosh, where are we going with this? The thing, to go back to Lobster Man, Jordan Peterson. I've listened to a lot of his podcast lectures, read his books, apart from Maps of Meaning, but he was around when Christopher Hitchens, the big homie, he was around at the same time, but his arguments, Peterson's arguments, weren't getting any kind of traction. Like Christianity was on a downward spiral.
Yeah.
Those arguments were not going in the favour of William Lane Craig and Bill Donahue.
Yeah.
The New Atheists were doing really well, very popular, and Christianity really got beaten down. And now, like, Jordan Peterson's got like a revival going for Christian theology and ideology, and that's kind of been picked up with less philosophically trained and more like commonplace right-wing thought leaders.
Yeah.
But at the same time, these kind of people are trying to battle against woke ideology. And kind of not really knowing how to create a good argument against religious fundamentalism that comes out of like atheistic worldviews, like woke. So when people say like woke is kind of like a new religion, they say like, well, you know, it is, but
do you think that? Do you think woke is like a new religion?
It is, and I think the way to argue against it is like a Christopher Hitchens style argument against religion on the whole, which also defeats Christianity, which is why Jordan Peterson's kind of and those right wing thought leaders are in a bit of a, you know, tied up in a difficult way against arguing these positions down. Because if you get rid of new atheism and you get rid of these arguments against religion, then what are you going to argue against woke ideology with?
I guess. I just find it fascinating when people speak about like this idea that like we live in like this hyper politically correct like woke age. It's like we don't. We live like in like the most consumerist age in human history. Do you know what I mean? Like we live in like such like a vastly capitalist neoliberal landscape. Like I do understand, obviously, you know, like you can find like these examples of like, oh, like this person got fired from this job because they said something offensive, blah blah blah. But that's still capitalistic in nature, you know what I mean? That's still like a company being like, oh, we want to make money, so we're gonna like get rid of this problem, you know, like that's the way I interpret it, at least.
Right.
Well, like if anyone's attacking freedom of speech, it is actually private institutions.
Okay.
That's why Disney makes such shit films, because like they just want to make as much profit as possible, so they're trying to pander and be like as inoffensive as possible.
But isn't that what people call woke?
Maybe
that pandering, that like South Park episode of the Pandaverse, where it's like a diverse woke thing, and then it's going the capitalist way of taking on board the woke religious icons and saying, we're part of this religious like infrastructure that you've got.
Yeah. I suppose the reason why I push back on that idea of like the woke ideology is because I think it very often gets conflated with the left as such. And I'm just like, I don't really think the left are like these like psychotic, like, oh, you can't say that kind of types of people. Like they're normally very normal people that just like, if they hear something they feel is like a bad take, they will just say, I don't know about that. You know, that's normally how it goes down. That's how it goes down normally with me. Like, if I hear somebody say something I don't agree with, I'll just be like, I don't really agree with that. I don't, like, get all, you know, I don't get all, like, irate and self-righteous about it. I'll just be like, I disagree.
The part where it gets, like, religious is when they're, like, you're, like, a moderate religious guy, but, like, the zealots will be saying things like, if you don't use the right pronouns or you divert in any way from the orthodox position against all left-wing things, you're out of the group, you're attacked, you're
I just don't understand why you wouldn't use somebody's pronouns though.
But like, even if like, say if that's the one thing you disagree with on the left, and you're all in for socialism, redistribution of wealth, feminism, everything else, but that's the one thing you diverge on. You then get like pushed out. That's kind of like the J.K. Rowling thing. She's a very left wing person, but the one thing she disagreed on was the pronouns, was the trans side of it, and then just for disagreeing on that one thing, she's pushed out, and she's not right wing at all. She's been a massive left wing supporter her whole life. She donated massive amounts.
But why is a billionaire attacking a marginalised community?
You need something to like occupy your time. She's not working, is she?
Yeah, she's finished writing her shit book, so she's got to be a miserable cow towards like trans people for the rest of her life.
She's not getting calls from Karen at the job centre.
Yeah, exactly. She wrote like a very populist like children's fantasy franchise, and now she's like just riding on the coattails of that. But well, I guess like this is my like I don't understand why it's seen as like woke to simply respect trans identity. Like I don't understand like why that is seen as like this kind of like anal fixation on like some like arbitrary detail.
Well, to put it like the other way, if someone was saying things that were against trans people, you'd think they were right wing, wouldn't you?
Wait, can you repeat that? Sorry.
If you overheard someone saying things against trans ideology, like saying I don't agree with the pronouns, or I won't use the name that you choose, I'll use a dead name, or I won't refer to people as cis, would you not naturally think they were right wing?
I would think they're socially conservative at the very least.
So then that kind of puts the inverse on it, where the trans thing is woke, because if you see someone doing the opposite of it, they are right wing.
I'd say it's progressive.
Okay. But is it just like the word woke then? You just don't like
well,
that?
Because I feel like nobody uses the word woke in like a amicable fashion. Yeah, exactly.
And it's weird. It's like it's the word that the right wing like reclaimed to themselves, because it was something that people were actually saying more in like American circles, and it was like black kind of Ebonics vernacular.
Yeah,
of
definitely.
Saying, like, woke, and then the right wing went, I've got that, and then I'm going to use that word against you. I'm going to take the power back.
Yeah.
The W word.
Yeah.
What's up, my W?
I don't know. Like for me, I just can't understand like why. Like I remember I was at a party like a few years ago. Like it was like a New Year's party, and it was like this guy who already looked a bit like Andrew Tate. So I was already a bit on edge because like this guy looks weird.
Was it like a boring neurotypical with muscles, and you're like
basically yeah, like he'd shaved his head, and he was doing like like that thing where he has like the fingers on his tips and leans in while he listens to you as if to suggest that they're really thoughtful and like they're like dissecting exactly what you're saying when really they're just like a crass horrible idiot. And they were speaking to me, and then casually they just went, "What do you think of the trans issue?" And I just just waved at like my friend at the bar. I was like, "Oh, Rory, how are you doing?" Because I was like, I cannot even be bothered having a conversation on this. What do you mean the trans issue? Do you know what I mean? That's like saying to me like, "Oh, what do you think of like the vagina issue? People have vaginas. Isn't that an issue?" And I'm like, "Is it? Like, isn't that just like like a feature of certain people in the world?" Like,
I mean, the ones I've seen seem to be a bit of an issue.
The vagina people.
Yeah, that's what turned me. It was gross.
I mean, that's what I say to James as well. Like, I think like
if you see a blue waffle, that's an issue.
Yeah, that is true. That is very like it is. Like I do maybe hope I never see a blue waffle in my life and in person.
Have you never?
Not in the flesh. I've seen it on like my phone, but not like. Yeah, I do think if I went to engage sexually with a lady and they had a blue waffle, I'd probably take a step back and be like, sorry, I'm not really aroused.
Could she not like politically like turn you around and like, no, this is actually the most feminine version of the vajayjay. You're being like insecure in your masculinity if you don't.
Really? I mean,
blue waffle.
You'd be hard strung to find a feminist who genuinely argues that it's. This kind of raises a very important point about what I absolutely despise about political discourse right now, and to be fair, even the left are quite guilty of this, is like it all just becomes straw mans. Like no one's actually having a genuine discussion anymore. Like
it's the Jordan Peterson, Kathy Newman. So what you're saying is,
Well, exactly, like, speaking past each other, it's all, like, the right will be like, oh, feminists just want to burn bras and be really miserable and moody and shave their head. It's like, no, they don't. It's most women,
of course they don't. They want to grow out the armpit hair as well.
Which is fine, do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's not. They should shave it.
Why?
Cause
do you shave your armpit hair?
I remember going into a club once and...
Yeah.
I presume they were lesbians mainly because they were so gross, but they just one of them just... She was dancing about and she lifted up her arms and it, like...
Right.
It's almost like it had like a sound effect, like flump. The way they're just massive, like an afro under her arm.
Right.
And... Like you're trying to be like liberal and progressive now. I can see it,
right?
But at the same time, I can see you thinking, like an afro is a bit much under the arm.
Not really. I've like literally been with girls who had armpit hair before. It doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Does it never come up in conversation?
If it's ever come up in conversation, I've just been like, I'm so indifferent to women having armpit hair that like it doesn't matter to me. Like, if they feel like they look sexier shaving it, then that's fine. But if they want to grow their armpit hair out because it's effort constantly shaving it for some, like, outdated aesthetic ideal, then I'm like, yeah, like, I literally couldn't care less. I mean, I'm, like, pro-pube, you know what I mean? Like, most men are like, ugh, pubes. I was like, nah, fucking... Pubes are, like, the sign you're shagging an adult lady, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to get rid of pubes on a lady, that just means you want to fuck children. Do you know what I mean? It's true though. It fucking is true. Like, you know what? Like women or like females, cisgender females don't have pubes without like doing something to like get there. Children. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you're a guy having sex with a woman and you're angry that she's got pubes, what you are essentially saying is you want to have sex with a child.
Right. I mean, to kill all these people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta kill men that don't like that are against pubes. That's lame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, grow up, man.
But also, like having to, like, spit one out, like, in the middle of, some happenings is a bit of a...
Sex is inherently disgusting. You gotta get over it, you know what I mean?
Oh, come on.
It is! Like, if you are eating a girl out, you're already sticking your tongue in the place where they piss out of. So it's just like, you know... Oh no, a pube! Well, fuck off, grow up.
Mr. Wins' podcast does not endorse this sexual interaction with women. I love the joke, a Greek man and an Italian man are talking to each other and the Greek man says, they're trying to discuss who's got the best culture.
Right.
And the Greek man says, we invented sex. And the Italian says, well, we thought about having it with women. I love that.
I like that, it's a good joke. That's a good joke.
But also, just fucking shave it, ladies. Come on.
I think ultimately it's like, do what you feel. Like, you should never feel pressure to adhere to some ideal that you don't feel comfortable with doing. You know what I mean?
Isn't it like a bit of give or take, though? It's like, is it bad if you ask, like a woman to do something which does adhere to traditional values? Like, would you say it's not acceptable to ask that, even if there's like a bit of a give and take relationship?
Well, like, ask them to shave the pubes?
Yeah, like if a woman was like, I want you to take the bins out and I want you to wash the dishes.
Right.
And the man says, okay, pubes have got to, you've got to trim the garden bush a bit. And
I suppose it's a case-by-case thing, like, like what relationship, what rules you've set up in that relationship. But, like, I don't think I'd ever, like, make a request like that. You know what I mean? I'd just be like, just fucking... Like, women aren't even that hairy to begin with, you know what I mean? Like, if you get like, that... I feel like if you get that upset over the teeny tiniest amount of body hair on a lady, it's just like, that's a you problem, you know what I mean? Like, that's the that's a problem with the man, I think.
Wait till they get a bit older as well. Women get hairier when they go through the menopause.
That's true.
They start growing a bit of a moustache.
That's true. But at that point, I'll probably be, like, if I'm shagging ladies in their menopause and I'm that age, so I'll probably be ugly myself, so I'll just get over it. I'll be like, whatever, like, who am I to make that?
Are you not going to do the Leonardo DiCaprio thing?
What, just become a nonce, basically, just shag
no,
teenagers?
Like, you're, like, in your 60s and you're shagging someone who's, like, 25 and then they turn 26 and, like, oh, she's past the sell-by date.
Jeez.
Get a new 20-year-old.
Probably not, no, I don't think I will do that, no.
You're not going to be a legend like that, no?
No, I won't. I'll be the complete opposite of a legend in that respect.
What, you're going to start going with older women now?
Not now, I mean, like...
That's the opposite.
What, like, the opposite of a pedo? Yeah. I feel like just around my age, like in their 20s is good for me.
Right.
Maybe if I did find a lady in their 30s that was like, wonderful, I'd probably...
What about 40s?
Yeah, even 40s.
50s?
If they were hot enough, definitely.
60s?
Depends how they look.
70s?
Like, Michelle Pfeiffer's in her 60s, I think.
Michelle
70s... Depends. I'm not ruling it out.
You're going all in. You're just...
I think the one thing that will be on my mind in an interaction like that is I would feel like it would be strange for somebody in their 70s to want to sleep with somebody in their 20s.
It's actually not,
Is
There's
it not?
be a thing where older women, like, have missed out on some traditional aspects of femininity. They're a bit broody. So, like, they end up going for, like, younger men who they see as fertile. And
Right.
like, kind of... there's a sexual relationship there, but it's also a little bit, maternalistic, so that
Right.
gets a bit weird into it as well.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I can understand it. Like the thing is, like, when you're in your 20s, you are essentially, like, in, like, the most attractive part of your life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, a given, but for, like, give or take, for, like, every human being that's ever existed on the planet, like, that is the age where, like, you finally completed puberty, you're growing into yourself, and, like, you kind of you have enough agency to develop your style enough. That's why, like, all sex icons in history are basically in their 20s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can understand why a 70-year-old would want a boner or get boned by a 20-year-old man. But yeah, if a 70-year-old woman was hot enough, I would definitely consider it. And I also think it'd be so funny. It'd be such a funny story that you,
Right.
like, shagged a 70-year-old when you were 25. And I'd be like, oh, what? I'd be like, yeah, it was funny.
Right.
It's like when Jez shags Stinky's mum in Peep Show, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It's the same sort of, like, thing there. You just, like, it's just funny.
Well, here's the next test of how liberal you are.
Okay.
Could you go for someone who is of a different political leaning to you?
See, this is going to make me seem really closed-minded now, but probably not.
What if they were really, really hot, though?
Like, short term, yeah, like, I'd want to have sex with, like, if I met the most beautiful lady in my entire life and they were conservative, I probably would just... Well, no, not even then. Like, I'm not really, like, the kind of person that can do that, like, turn off my morals in a situation like that. But say if it just so happened that this lady was, like, gorgeous and, like, psychotically right-wing, you know what I mean? Like, BMP, but she was like, do you want to shag? I'd be like, yeah. But then afterwards I'd be like, but, like, I don't want to continue seeing you know what I mean?
The reason I'm asking this is because I've recently found out on a podcast with Chris Norris that young Netanyahu was incredibly fit.
Really?
And, like, we just decided,
This reminds me a bit of, like, have you seen the picture of Joseph Stalin when he's, like, 20? And he's actually, like, dapper? He's got, like, fucking muzzy and, like, proper chiseled jawline and that.
Not Muslim, by the way, you mean, like, moustache.
Yes, that's what I meant, yes.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, young Netanyahu is like, he gets away with a few war crimes, You really tested your moral fibre here today?
I think you are, yeah. I don't...
Would you not?
Would I... I'm not bi or gay, so I wouldn't be...
But, I mean, look. He hasn't shaved either.
He is a good-looking guy at that age, I will give you that.
Yeah.
On the outside only, though. Inside, he's a fucking piece of shit, like, garbage human being that, like, deserves to be shot to death, but...
Look, it's not just Gaza that's smouldering. Look at those eyes.
Jeez. Oh, God. That's one way of putting it, I suppose, yeah.
I've really upset you now, haven't I?
No. I mean, it's all in good jest. But there is, like, I've heard that brought up before with Stalin, where people go like, oh, like, look at how sexy this man who murdered millions of people is, and it's like, sometimes fit people are evil, you know what I mean?
Weirdly, you're more accepting of Stalin than Bibi.
Yeah, I am, weirdly enough. But Stalin was a piece of shit as well, like, he kind of, like, ruined communism for everyone, you know what I mean? He, like, turned it into, like, a dictatorship, and it was just like, that's not what communism was meant to be. But, I mean, I've got a lot of problems with communism, actually, like I was, like, alluding to before. Actually, I don't even know if I got onto that, but...
You know what? Let's get on to it. So communism, let's hear about it.
Communism, yeah. So I think if you were to describe me politically, I'd say I'm like what you call a neo-Marxist.
I thought I was going to go another way then. No. You really like, actually, I've had enough of these neurotypicals. I was going to
entice you like neo-Marxist.
Really had enough of these neurotypicals. They've got to go. Someone's got to do it.
Oh, honestly. I mean, it's just from my years of being bullied by neurotypical people that's turned me into a bit of a Hitler against, like, normies.
Were you actually bullied?
Oh, yeah, vehemently. Like religiously.
Was it just your mum and dad, or, like, school kids as well? Or?
As well.
Oh, right. Okay.
Family and friends, you know.
It's like, what would they do?
Just general sort of comments about, like, my personality, you know, the kind of, like... Just like, I don't have to go into it, you know, it's a traumatic period of my life. But either way, it was like, it's created this, like, perpetual sense of alienation and, like, self-doubt within me that I've had to spend maybe thousands of pounds on therapy to, like, overcome. But either way, we move.
You've done therapies? So
Yeah.
But a lot of it, by the sounds of it, thousands of pounds.
Well, probably getting to, like, a grand, I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah. But, it's very good. Everybody should see a therapist, I think. Like, even if you think you're a, like, relatively well-rounded individual, like, therapy just exposes your thought patterns to you in ways that you didn't conceive of, like, previously. You seem like my kind of, like, reaction to, like, the Netanyahu joke before is, like, what you're doing now. So, like, the suggestion to see a therapist. It's like, you're as, like grossed out by the notion of therapy as I am by, like, Zionism.
I mean, you were leading me on when you started saying neo, but, you know. And I've also, like, I've got this thing about therapy, but I kind of said it in another podcast. But you've not heard it before, so I'll say it again. So when I was 17, I keep getting these ages wrong. When I was 21, I was sectioned, and that was in a hospital in Norwich. And
that's mad.
Tried to kill myself.
Sorry, not literally. That's
it literally is mad, isn't it?
It literally is mad.
It's woo.
Oh.
It's mad, bro. I got sectioned after I tried to kill myself in a hospital and didn't get therapy, but spoke to a psychologist for about 12 sessions, and that was to assess me to see if therapy would be good. And walk into the room for the first time with the psychologist, and there's a room full of chairs. And he says to me, okay, this is my name, you sit in this chair. And immediately I thought, well, isn't, like, the psychology thing, you get to choose what chair you sit in, and doesn't that say something about me? So I kind of, like, joked about that to him, and he said, no, you've got to sit in this chair for my safety. And I immediately think, well, I'm still in the room with you, you're not that safe.
Yeah.
Like, you try and run out of here, I can beat you to death with this chair. Come on.
I see that.
Yeah, it didn't get off to a good start.
No, and that does actually speak to, like, a wider problem with, like, therapy, where, like, a lot of people encounter bad therapists with bad practices, and it completely dissuades them from, like, ever reconsidering it. But, like, fortunately, I found a therapist that, like, I want to go back to when I can afford it, but I don't have a job, which is probably actually a good thing, but... That's it, yeah, I've got, like, a really good therapist, and they kind of made me realise, like, the powers of therapy, in the sense that, like, the sessions became... I felt comfortable enough to open up with this therapist in ways that I've never done with any other human being before, because it's, like, my most private internal thoughts that I've ever had. And what it is with therapy is you need your thoughts, they just bounce, you know, they just stick inside your head. And when you have somebody else to bounce those thoughts back to you and articulate underlying patterns, that's when you start to think, oh shit, yeah, that's what those thoughts actually mean, that's what they signal.
Have you had, like, the it wasn't your fault moment, like from Good Will Hunting?
Oh, a million times. That's like every session. In fact, what I've discovered in life is nothing is actually my fault. I'm actually brilliant and perfect.
That's why therapy's good. Just lack of responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you're telling me that everybody else is the problem. That's what I always thought. Like, fucking, hey, man, that's great. But yeah, therapy is great, and communism is okay.
Isn't not like bad though. Like, in terms of, like, ideologies that have killed people, like, it's a number 2.
After
Nazism. Actually, it might be number 1, actually.
Capitalism's number 1.
No,
the amount of people that have starved to death in countries like that were capitalist.
No one starves to death in capitalist countries. and more people starve to death in communist countries, anyway.
There is like a good argument to be had about this, where you look at the way in which supposedly communist countries have like organized themselves governmentally speaking, and how like sort of horrendous they normally ended up becoming. But even like if you look at like, I can't remember which country it was. I think it might have been Chile in like the 80s or something, had like a socialist government that then basically, because of that, the CIA just blocked all like food entering the country, so like loads of people starved to death, and then America were like, see, it's the communists. It's like, no, it's not, you starved them to death like they were a self-functioning autonomous country, and then you just fucked it up.
But the communists, they're literally against trade. So like, what's the problem?
I think the thing is, like I was saying to you before, like the reason why I really identify more with like what you would call like neo-Marxism or like post-Marxism.
You're saying that word again, trying to get me
Neo,
on board.
yeah, it was like, it's the good Neo, you know what I mean? It's like the Matrix Neo, not like the fucking skinhead one, like the American History X one. It's like, the idea is that like, we have set, like, the infrastructure of our society is now so inherently capitalistic that it's like, how do we basically eliminate all the problems that come with that as much as we can, if that makes any sense. So I really fuck with Zizek, Slavoj Zizek.
Right, the big spitter.
As capitalism, he speaks like this, and he always rubs his nose just like he's a nervous tick.
Spit some game.
Yeah. Exactly. But he makes this point about how ideology perpetuates everything in our reality. How, like, even saying, like, a lot of people these days will say, like, oh, I don't do politics, me. And Zizek will say to you, that itself is an ideological claim. That all that is just the structures of the world you've been brought up in. They've just brainwashed you without you even realising it.
Well, the usual retort to like anyone promoting communism is, you know, where's it worked? It's like, is there anything that you're like, this is a good example, or this is how we could do it?
Yeah, the UK.
It does feel a bit communist now, doesn't it? But
not now, no, certainly not
not.
now. I'm talking about like post-war socialism, like if you want to look at like a first world country that adopted socialist and communist ideals as like brilliantly as possible, it was the Attlee government.
Well, that's a good example, because you could compare post-war Britain to post-war Japan, and Japan does well better on like capitalism, or Singapore as well.
It's complicated because there were many pitfalls with like the way the UK government ran like things in post-war Britain, and
mainly the socialism. Fucking NHS, get rid of that.
Oh yeah, how dare people receive like healthcare for free?
I think, you know, you think the NHS is good, but you're also like giving healthcare to nonces, and you know, a nonce goes into a GP,
right,
and the GP says, "Wow, you got such small teeth marks on your penis. Like, where's that come from?" And you're supposed to give them free healthcare regardless. And
right?
That's like bad, isn't it?
So
can we not like get rid of healthcare? So I'm not paying for nonces to get like the fucking free healthcare.
I always think whenever taxpayers, like, people bring up, like, my taxes go towards this, I always think it's such, like, a non-argument, because I'm like, you are talking about, like a 100th of a penny, you know what I mean?
That's my fucking penny.
Who gives a fuck, though? Like, maybe the wider point is, like, why do we even need wages to survive to begin with, you know?
Because, you know, I need to pay for subscriptions to anime services for Islamic Anime.
Right, Islamine.
Islamine. Now that the Israelis are getting the job done, yeah, I need that Islamine.
Yeah, that's one way to put it, yeah. But, because the thing is, like, I think the problem with, like, Marxism and communism is that, like, it was never meant to be, like, a coherent political theory on how to arrange this society.
Well, that's a good job, because it fucking isn't.
But the thing is, like, when people talk about like a Marxist-Leninist state, because that was what Lenin basically did with Russia, the Soviet Union, in like the early 20th century, was he took Marxist critique and channeled it into like a system of government, which for better or worse did eventually succeed, and then in the whole Cold War crumble, etc. Blah 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 blah.
Well, he invented the gulags as well, didn't he?
Lenin?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. I have to double check, but if he did, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. He was a bit of a fucking crazy fucker.
He was a bad boy.
Yeah, but I think it's easy for, like, Western capitalism to like look at these examples. Like again, it's what I was saying before about like Churchill versus Hitler, where it's like, and I'm not saying that like Churchill was like worse than Hitler, but like it's very easy to create like this binary of like, oh, good versus bad, when the reality is normally like bad versus badder, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So it's like, you know, like if you look at fucking like the government of the CIA installed a leader for South Vietnam in the Vietnam War, like in the early, like it might have been like the late 50s, early 60s, who basically just started shooting people who didn't agree with him. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. All like of the CIA's actions are terrible. Like Cuba as well.
Yeah.
With the pro Batista.
Exactly.
Shooting students who were protesting.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff, but it always feels like the main critique that people on the left come out with against capitalism is there are people that are so rich that don't need it, and it just comes across as like jealousy or hatred of people who are successful.
No, I don't think that's what it is. I don't think it's like, oh, give me your money. I think it's more about like you literally force people into conditions that like can lead to their death. It's like, you know, like the way Margaret Thatcher said that like we don't live in
Lovely lady.
What?
Lovely lady.
Lovely lady? Really?
Yeah, great.
I feel like she is like...
She's fit as well, wasn't she?
Really?
You'd have a go, wouldn't you?
No.
No.
Not even.
Even if she didn't shave her armpit?
No, maybe if she shaved her armpits, I'd consider it.
Yeah, she's the one who's got to like shave and fucking sort out love.
Go on, if anybody shaved their armpits, it was Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But she, pardon me, she made that point about like how society and community doesn't exist because we're all just individuals getting by, and I think that is like one of the most harmful like idioms and like pieces of rhetoric you could ever perpetuate, because
it feels like an accurate description of society now.
But that's what she wanted. That's her utopia, just dissolving community.
Isn't that good though?
No.
Why not?
Because we're fucking human beings that flourish under community and love.
Some people aren't. Some people like are in Concert Square, like showing off their muscles with nothing to say.
Oh yeah, they deserve to be shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But genuinely though, like my point does stand. It's like humans, when we were like in a hunter-gatherer age, like the earliest stage of evolution, like we survived because of community. We survived because we stuck with each other and loved each other. Like that, I do genuinely think that's like a built-in feature of human existence to like need love and community. And so when you have like a neoliberal society that says that doesn't exist, I think it's antithetical to humanity itself. And so what I really appreciate about leftist discourse is it brings community back into politics. And I think that's very important. It no longer becomes about competition and getting like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, but it's also to say that like we're all in this together. Which is the truth of it.
I mean, it feels like we're not. If you like say, I don't know about those Zhe programs and their like pronouns and they're like, well, fucking get in the gulag.
But I think that's such a overwhelming minority that it's basically meaningless. I feel like examples like those are what like the right cling on to be able to sort of dissuade like what is like otherwise like a very like in fact it's like an entirely cohesive and coherent rhetoric. Like trans rights are not complicated at all. Like it's very simple to understand, and like as long as you understand that gender is distinct from your sex, which is psychologically and scientifically verified, then it's like not a complicated argument at all.
Well, I mean, to take it out of the trans stuff, so it's not like a social issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if a farmer puts work in to make his farm successful,
yeah,
he makes a bit of money, he sells his produce and he keeps the profit. What's wrong with that? Why can't he not keep the profit?
Because what I do appreciate about like Marxism is it always highlights the point that where did money come from to begin with, you know? Like, where did that inherently become the way we mitigate our resources? And I do think money's useful, but it's like I've thought this before when I've just been like broke, like I've been between jobs or whatever. Like even now I'm broke, and it's just like this whole idea, like, oh, you can't have a meal. It's like what? Like that's fucking nonsense. Like just because I don't have like the special fucking coins I can't eat. Like, that's stupid.
Well, yeah, that's like how it works.
But it's stupid. It shouldn't work like that.
Well, how should it work?
It should just, like, people should just be fed.
But isn't that slavery?
Why is it slavery?
Because if you don't have to give anything back to get something, then someone's making something that doesn't have to be paid. Like in that situation, someone's in a work experience job.
Right.
Like, I mean, not that slavery is work experience, but
Yeah.
you know, it feels like that for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Slavery is work experience.
slavery is work
I will
experience.
back that claim.
And that's why black people should stop going on about it because it wasn't that bad. So if you're getting something for nothing,
Mm-hmm.
someone in the chain of production at which you get that thing is not being compensated, at which point they're working for you as a serf or a slave.
Yeah, I mean, I do hear that, but
You like slavery that much?
it's not
Pro-slavery, that's
It's
the name
not
of the podcast.
That's kind of like saying, like, that's like if a mum cooks a meal for her child and, like, the kids puts no money towards it, you say that, like, the mum's, like, a slave. It's like, no, it's not. She's doing that
Have you heard, mums? Have you heard, Scouse mums? I've been slaving away at this fucking stove.
Yeah, and that's...
You coming in, what's for tea?
And that's bad parenting.
I know, she fucking slapped those mothers because
Yeah,
they're fucking
well, exactly.
being a bit silly.
But the fact you want to slap those mothers shows that you have, like, innately in you some reverence for community. Because you understand that human beings aren't transactional entities. They're complex, sentient beings that occupy a very scary, vast universe.
I feel like you've said that to your mother before and she's, like, not had it.
Basically, yeah.
She's not been happy with
And on
you
that
at all.
topic, Mum, I want salmon, I don't want pasta bacon or something like that, yeah. But
Definitely middle class. Not working class at all.
But, like, the point still stands, I think, like, that's what I see in this world we live in, where, like, everybody keeps to themselves and everybody's scared of conversation with other people. And, like, when I went to Thailand, like, I was, like, doing Muay Thai in this gym, and the gym was literally just in the back of someone's house. And, like, a few times afterwards, the trainer would be like, oh, like, come eat. And that's a big part of Thai culture, like, you just eat together, and, like a common greeting in Thailand, I forgot how to say it in Thai, unfortunately, but...
Also, cum eating in Thailand is a bit different as well.
What's that?
Cum eating in Thailand is a bit different as well. Those ladyboys are, vicious.
Are they?
Yeah, those ping pong.
They're some of the loveliest people I've ever met.
I'm just saying, if someone in Thai says "come eat," it's a bit of a different shit.
Yeah, on Koh San Road, you might be a bit skeptical because they're all a bit dodgy on over there. But like on that like particular road, but where I was in the northeast of Thailand, literally there would just be like about 10 of us. It'd be like an entire family. It'd be like a grandmum, like the grandkids just legging it round, and like the trainer who are the friends of the family. And they just make big bowls of make a big ass rice. They just have a big ass rice cooker and they just dump rice in your bowl, put like some fucking like gorgeous Thai food, like some pad Thai or like some like just like grilled meat in there, and they'd just be like, even if you couldn't speak the language, they had that innate sense of community. Like, yeah, we're all in it together. You know what I mean? I thought that was really beautiful, and I think that's exactly what's missing in a horrible sort of like, you need a job to work for yourself. Like, fuck off.
But isn't it that like all those places where you get that like communal spirit are poorer countries, and if all the richer countries are doing individualist societal and cultural makeups where it's just like a person in a flat by themselves instead of a family, doesn't it suggest that the richer countries are correct? Because if they wanted to, they could have like the communal 70 people in like a house, like the Waltons, like that show back in the day from like America. But people don't want that. People want like the rich.
Where I push back is I say, why do these have to be like mutually exclusive factors? Like, why can't community be integrated into wealth accumulation, if you want to describe it as that?
Because house shares are disgusting. That's why, okay?
Yeah, but
you
it's
could live in a house share right now if you want to, even on the job centre, but you don't. And you know why. Because they're disgusting.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not necessarily against house shares. Like, when I was considering moving to London a few months back and I was looking at house shares, like...
Considered it, didn't do it.
Because I don't have enough money for it, because London's expensive, but... No, but, like, the point is, like, they didn't all live together. Like, there were people from different parts of the city that were there, like, trainers and, like, different kids that went there and their parents who, like, took them there. And, like, that's just, like, such a part of, like, their culture where they're just like, yeah, we just eat together. Like, we're all human. Like, that's part of living. And I just thought it was so beautiful. Like, I just don't think you would have that in this country. You don't have that same ethos.
But isn't it because in the richer countries, you've got the option of doing that, but you don't want to because the standard of living or the standard where you're making it or you're successful is where you're on your own. and you are an individual.
It's because if you spend money on, like, just making food for other people, that puts you at, like, a disadvantage. Like, we have, like, a literal cost of living crisis in this country where, like, things are just too expensive.
Yeah, but that's because they're printing money to do socialist nonsense. That's why.
Why? How, elaborate.
Like, that all inflation is the printing of money.
Right.
So it's taxation without the legislation, because you're printing money that you don't have, so it's future taxation.
Right.
And the future taxation is for socialist projects, like putting more money into the NHS or...
But is it... I feel like inflation has more to do with the fact that, like, wages just stagnate.
No. Inflation is just the printing of money. That's all it is.
But there's nothing wrong with, like, printing more money, just so long as, like, people have, like, a equal access to that money.
And that's why a pint of milk costs £6. Well, it will do in like a couple of months.
Insane. But it's like, if you look at, like, the 50s, like, people could afford a house, they could afford to mortgage a house. Like, now it's like, a house is like 200 grand or something like that. It's like, what? Like, that's like...
Because we were, like, less time removed from the Bretton Woods Agreement, so that's why.
From the what agreement, sorry?
The Bretton Woods Agreement, where...
What was that again, sorry?
America just took all the gold and said, everyone fuck off, and then the money isn't linked to gold, it's linked to...
Oh, that was what Gordon Brown did, right?
Gordon Brown took a part of it in selling off gold reserves,
right,
which makes him a cunt. But the real problem is back in the day,
mm-hmm.
America said, we want all the gold, and then we're going to cut off the link between gold and money, so that you can print money without having to be linked to gold, which means that the money supply, the pricing of it, is incorrect, so you just get money prices increasing.
I don't see how that's socialist, though.
The reason it's increasing is because you're spending money and you don't have anything tangible connected to it.
Right.
You're saying we're going to print money.
Yeah.
To pay for things that we can't afford. You're just going to keep on increasing the credit limit on your credit card.
Right.
Well, that means you're going to keep on having to pay back more, which is prices going up.
But this just seems like neoliberalism's wet dream, where you just create more consumers.
Well, I mean, this is what libertarians, like, rip the hair out of over.
Right.
Like, every libertarian during the pandemic was saying, we're going to have terrible inflation, the government's fucking us, they're printing so much money, it's insane, you can't shut down the government and have all businesses stop and pay people out and expect prices to stay the same. They're not. And then prices went up and all the libertarians like, fucking told you so, but now we're all fucked.
Yeah, I do definitely hear you on how, like, COVID and the pandemic had, like, such a massive impact on that as well.
But isn't that what you want? You want, like, COVID forever so we can all, like, pursue creative things instead of working and dying when you're 40 and miserable, but like a good person.
Have you seen that Steve Hughes bit where he's just like, I'm fucking sick of working. Like, why do we have to work at shit? Like, everything's built. You know what I mean? Like, what are we working for now? Like, 5 days on, 2 days off. 5 days on, 2 days off. 5 days on, 2 days off. When's this gonna fucking end?
Well, until you die.
Yeah, that's shit. It's like, the thing is as well, people do want to work. Like there are gonna be some people that'll be like, I'll get bored. Like, I'd rather be a surgeon. It's like, sick, do that, you know what I mean? But like, oh, I've got to alphabetize insurance forms. Like, fuck off. That's no way to spend your life. That's like such a meaningless endeavor. It means fucking nothing. It's like, yeah, it just bothers me.
Don't you start going off to my alphabetizing of insurance forms. It's so much fun. I work in insurance.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
I mean, the alphabetizing is the best part. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah. Everything else is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, do you ever get quite existential about it, where you think like, if this is the one sacred chance I have of existing in a physical universe as a sentient being, this is what I'm spending my time doing it with? You know, do you never?
I'll be honest, I only do creative pursuits so that I can earn a bit of money on the side so that I can do more hours in the office. That's the only reason. So I can do more.
You only do stand-up so you can spend more time in an insurance
Absolutely.
office.
Piano as well. I only like get a bit of extra money on gigs so I can afford the train fare to go to the office more.
Right.
That's the only reason I do it. It's because you don't understand the joy of a spreadsheet. When a spreadsheet works,
clearly not.
When the VLOOKUP on a spreadsheet hits, it hits different.
Oh wow!
It's better than like a woman who shaved her armpits. It's
really?
So
wow! I couldn't envision anything superior to that actually.
Imagine Margaret Thatcher with no armpit hair, just like.
Oh wow! Well, you know what?
Dancer with her arms above her head.
I'm gonna go to job centre next week and be like, give me an insurance job. Like that's what I want to do now.
Right. Sam Alexander. you're doing some creative stuff about some dark subject matter, suicide. There's got to be some like something dark in your past, something that's a key moment in your life, which is like, this has set me forward, but it was also a bit of.
I don't think it's necessarily like one single moment. I've just basically, as long as I can remember, been a depressed person, basically. And I've come to a position now in my life where I've like realised I'm never going to get rid of the depression. It's like, how do you work alongside it? So like now I take like medicine, like I take antidepressants, and I've seen a therapist, and I've just kind of like learned to realise I'm always going to be chaos brained and anxious and sad about things, but that doesn't have to stop me from flourishing and being happy. So like a lot of like the poet character who is very depressed and like on the verge of suicide, that comes from like genuine thoughts and ideas I've had about like life before, where I've thought to myself like, I don't feel like I understand what it means to be a human being. Like, that is a genuine thought I've had before. I think the thing is, like, a lot of people have thoughts like that, and I think like the sort of film I'm trying to tell, the story I'm trying to tell is like something that I think will be meaningful and honest, because a lot of people will be thankful that they've had somebody articulate like these dark thoughts through like the voice of like another character, you know. What do you think?
Well, to connect it back to what you were previously saying about like communes and like community spirit, I think a lot of what people are experiencing in societies are like breakdown of family units, which is like the right wing kind of version of it, where we're not individuals like I've been kind of presenting, which is like the libertarian ethos. We're not communes, which is like the left wing ethos, but like the right wing traditional conservative ethos is we're family units, and the nuclear family is broken down.
Absolutely, you know, it's really weird. I 100% agree with that. That like family is important, and that like the family unit should be preserved. But I'm coming at it from a feminist angle, where I think that it's largely the fault of men, where like families are starting to dissolve.
But can we not say like your mother before, like just get in the kitchen and cook for everyone, you know, be a commune. And that means like you need some women to like fucking shut up and do the cooking, you know?
Does it mean that?
I mean, you're not gonna get the men to do it because the men are shit.
But that's the thing, like that's a limiting belief. Like, men should adopt those sorts of like behavioral characteristics because they are beneficial to the betterment of us all.
Well, yeah, that's true as well. Like, if you really come down to it, men are the better chefs as well, just because women are shit at everything. But you know,
I can tell you're gay.
So, I'm turning straight like Milo. I swear to God, I'm like straight in. Dinosaurs out. That's what I was saying. You've got to have something for the women to do, and you know they're not gonna like be going down the mines and getting coal so we can like burn it in our fuel. So you just get them in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean,
or the bedroom.
I suppose I'm trying to remember what like my initial point was with this. I think my point is that like in the 50s, when like there'd be less divorces and whatnot, it was like more socially acceptable in that time for like the husband to basically like smack their wife around and be like, "Shut up!"
Time. It was
all
a
right,
time.
sure thing. Like when everyone was lobotomized and on fucking like what's the word, benzos, like they were like fucking like Tic Tacs.
Blue Velvet, which is like that white picket fence Reaganite kind of dream.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've probably seen that.
Of course, yeah.
So that's what it is. Like, there's the Reaganite white picket fence lifestyle. Everything looks good, and then you go like half an hour in, and people are like sniffing panties and fucking losing their mind.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
so I think we're in this weird. God, this actually ties into what I was saying before about the creative pursuit. How you go through the shit. It starts good when you're poor. You go through shit when you start earning, and you come out the other side again. It's the exact. There's the exact same trajectory, socially speaking, right now, where we just haven't integrated feminist ideals into our society yet, because everyone's like, oh, like lesbians, like people don't want to actually engage with it as like a serious philosophy. But it like the onus is on men to not be abusive in relationships. Like, that is the historical pattern, and essentially what's happened like the last 30, 40 years is women have gone, you know what, I don't really want to be in an abusive relationship, even if that means like my kid doesn't have like two parents in a household. And I think that is preferable to staying with like an abusive partner, but that as an ideal is not preferable. Like, we should have a man and a woman raising a child together, or like a woman, a man, a man. Like, there needs to be like two parental figures, I think, essentially.
Right.
And I think it's like, what I would like to hope will happen in like 100 years' time is we'll just learn to be nice to each other, just learn to be kind.
I don't know about that.
But that is essentially like the core of every political and philosophical issue. Is like, why are people horrible? And it's like, let's work that out. You know.
Well, I don't know if we're going to figure out like people being nice to each other, like in any political ideology. But what we can do is bomb the shit out of each other and make anime that is fucking entertaining and is worth getting a subscription for.
Is that fulfilling though?
Yes, it fucking is.
Is it? I suppose. I mean, to be fair, some great films have come out of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like Godzilla.
Yeah.
Pain does create great art.
The Koreans as well. The Japanese absolutely fucking tortured the Koreans, and then the Koreans make some great films.
Definitely, absolutely.
And the Japanese, you know, they have a weird thing where they were like brutal and vicious, and then they went all cutesy, and everyone forgot about it.
Yeah, that is a good point. Like the Empire in World War II was like bad. Like
maybe this is what Israel needs to do. They just need to like, you know, just destroy Gaza and then go ooh kawaii, and then everything will forget about it. It'll be fine.
Well, it's like I remember like Donald Trump was expressing desires to turn Gaza into like a holiday resort, and I was just like,
fantastic.
Does it?
Don't you like Trump?
It's like turning Auschwitz into a theme park. That there's like is like.
We kind of have though, but it's like it's a bit dour, but it kind of is.
So there's not like an Auschwitz ride though, you know what I mean? Like, well, besides maybe the train there, but like.
Fucking awkward.
See, I can do dark jokes as well. I just choose not to.
Well, there we go. Get some more whiskey in you. Trump, he's a good guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Why?
Why does no one like him? Like, he's fun. Like, Mum Darmy likes him.
I think
Mum
Darmy likes him in the sense that he thinks he's an idiot and he's amused by him.
They had a great time together.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that like clip of them like both like being, ooh, but like the thing is like when Trump got into the presidency the first time round, I remember actually saying to people legitimately like, you gotta admit though it is hilarious that he's the president. Like it's just like what the fuck's going on? Like when there was the blackout because he was arguing with all the White House. So when like it was like the team that won the college football championship, they normally go to the White House as like a reward, but it was during a blackout, so he just had like fucking Big Macs on silver platters to like feed them. I was just watching that like this is the most dystopian nonsense I've ever seen. I mean like
is beautiful capitalist Trump just imagery.
It's just like it's like a satire manifest. Like Armando Iannucci couldn't even conceive of something that ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like you wonder why the thick of it isn't a show anymore. It's because politics actually out ridiculous. You can't even use that as an adjective, but like it's like more ridiculous than the fucking satire that was being written about it.
I mean, that is a thing. Like that's also where like South Park kind of left its mind as well. They had like the caricature of Trump, which was Mrs. Garrison, like in the Trump makeup, and then it kind of went to the point where actually we think it's got so mad we can't even do that, so we're gonna stop doing Mr. Garrison as Trump when he's the president, and actually just insert like an image of Trump and just do it literally.
Yeah,
because they actually can't do it anymore.
No, definitely.
But it's fun.
He's gonna be dead next year though. That's my prediction. Like he can clip that and.
Are you gonna bet on it on the calcium markets?
On what?
Have you not heard of this? In America, they've got like these new betting apps where you just bet on like things happening.
Oh.
So like you can bet on, who's gonna die next year, like an actor, or what thing's gonna happen. Is Keir Starmer gonna be out as like prime minister? So you can bet on like anything.
Yeah, Trump's not making it next year. Like, whenever he goes to, like, a public meeting, he basically passes out and he looks like he's grey. It's like, you are, like, on the verge of death, my guy.
God forbid. He's the hero. He's the
Is
hero
he?
we need.
Yeah. Like, Donald, eh?
And Vance will be great as president, so that's, like, the saving grace for it, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
That's one way of putting it, I suppose, yeah.
I bet you're not a fan of Vance either.
Not really, no.
No.
I'm not really a fan of many American political figures, to be honest. I think American politics is, like a dystopian nightmare. Like, would you rather this kind of horrible rich bastard or this horrible rich bastard who's a bit of a fascist? It's like, I guess the horrible rich bastard, but I still don't like them in any way, shape or form.
See, I knew it was just a case of, he's got money, I don't like it, why is he so rich? Why have I got no money and he's got so much money? That's all it is.
That's it, I'm just a Tory in disguise, I suppose.
Batman is the hero, not because he fights crime, but because he's rich. That's what it was. Batman could be Batman without fighting crime, and it'd still be like he'd be a hero.
Yeah, and like Batman should invest in social reform. You know what I mean? Should invest in the welfare state. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I feel like we're coming down to capitalism or trans on this thing. Like we're like focusing on one or the other, and I don't know which one you want to focus on.
Well, like what I think is more of a prevalent like issue in our world, like capitalism or like trans rights.
Well, like, just for this podcast, right? I don't think we can fix the world on this podcast. But,
no, I don't either, unfortunately. No. But
we
could change the topic. We could start talking about French New Wave.
I mean, absolutely. What is a French New Wave?
It's just a movement in cinema that I really revere in the late 50s, early 60s.
Right. Any fun ones I might know of? Probably not. We
could talk about... Well, you've got a philosophy degree, literature and philosophy degree.
Yeah.
What philosophers are you drawn to?
Nietzsche, mainly for his sister. She was like a legend.
Of course.
I don't know.
The one who like manipulated his words into sounding like a Nazi, like, yeah.
She was fun. She'd be great at parties. Didn't shave her armpits though, you know, fucking everyone's...
Did she? Oh, she's hot then, I like her now.
Everyone's got...
I might become a Nazi if Nazi girls don't shave their armpits.
That's the title of the podcast. Philosophy though, I didn't really vibe with it. I mean, you go through the arguments, you listen to like Socrates, and you're like, oh, I've always been like a fan of the new atheist Christopher Hitchens, but
right,
you know, Socrates is making some good arguments on the nature of the soul, and things like this that you have to engage with. So that's interesting. But I didn't really align with anything until I got to Ayn Rand, who was just like, I think probably one of the most important women of the 20th century, if not the most. And she shaved her armpits, so you know she's a good girl as well. So,
I love how like obsessed with it you are, like whether women shave their armpits or not.
I mean, it is the defining factor of whether.
Yeah, Simone de Beauvoir didn't shave her armpits.
Fucking slag, fuck off.
She is actually a really problematic figure, Simone de Beauvoir. It really upsets me because she's such a genius and basically like set the foundation for like modern feminism. Also like basically molested her own students. It's like...
I'm probably an anti-Semite, like a lot of them were. But I was just like intellectuals back in the day.
It's like the French philosophers, man. Like all like the great French philosophers of like the mid like 20th century were all just like bad nonsense, and it's like they write the most enlightening, beautiful work, and then they would just like molest kids. You're like, bro,
Foucault
what?
was so bad.
Who?
Foucault.
Yeah, Foucault, exactly. Like
I think he raped a boy on a grave.
Ugh.
It was bad. I know.
Because the thing is, like his work
didn't shave his armpits either.
And he didn't. What a gimp.
Fucking bastard.
But the thing is, like, if you read his work on like on structuralism and like meta narratives, it's genius. It's like it changes the way you see the world. But then he's a horrible, creepy pedo, and it's like, for God's sake, Foucault, man, could you have not just been like as good as your philosophy as a person? You know what I mean? But like,
I don't know. I think his philosophy was worse than his nonsense, to be honest.
Really?
I think if he had stuck to the nonsense, he'd be less of a bad person, to be honest.
I would vehemently oppose that, but fair enough.
I'm not a fan of Foucault or Derrida.
But I think, like, what he does is he essentially, like, says you have to understand the relationship between knowledge and power. Like, that is, like, a genuine... Like, the statements we make about the world that we accept as a given do actually feed into some power structure, whether or not we're aware of it. Like, once I realised that, it's like, yeah, of course, like, what we consider to be truth is just, like, power itself. It's like, that's, like, genius. It's a very important way of, like... even if you don't agree with Foucault, you at the very least have to, like, ask that question, like, what are the power structures that underpin our existence? Which is essentially, like, the core project that he undertook. Well, but he was a massive pedo, so he's a gimp.
Yeah, fuck him, he's a nonce. So...
like, there have never been any nonsense on the right.
None. Not even name one.
Off the top of my head, I actually can't. But...
God, yeah! Checkmate atheists.
Yeah, that's it. Fucking dumb lefties. Yeah.
Ayn Rand, though, is, like, just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say a bad word about her.
Never engaged with her work, actually.
She was a horrible-looking gremlin, but she did shave her armpits, so, you know.
Do you, when you've had sex with men...
Yeah.
Have you been upset that their armpits have not been hairy or you know, one or the other?
It's never really bothered me, like, a man not shaving his armpits.
Isn't that just a double standard though?
Or like a pube thing. I don't even mind if he's like not shaved his pubes. It's like it gets a bit like fucking. All right, but again, like you said, you just deal with it when you're in like the heat of the moment. So I don't care about that. But women not shaving their armpits is disgusting.
Why?
It is.
They sweat less. If anything, men having hairy armpits is like more disgusting.
No. Women are disgusting.
It's like this might sound a bit homophobic, but like I have encountered like a lot of gay men.
You can say the F word. It's fine.
No, it's not even that. It's I don't need to say a slur to make the point I'm gonna make. Like it's like there is like this kind of like thing of like where I encounter a gay man that just so obviously like despises women, and I think it's hilarious.
Well, faggots do be like that. That's Milo as well. Just like there are no real lesbians, and it is funny, but it's funny because gay women and gay men have nothing in common, and we shouldn't be in the same club. They should have separate clubs. It's annoying that lesbians are there all the time. It's disgusting. And they're there in like tops where they lift their armpits and their armpit hair is just out there, and and they need to fuck off.
Right.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. These hairy, horrible lesbians. I have a joke about it that I saw like a lesbian porn video when I was young, and it made me gay, and it was just these horrible fucking Tesco meal deal lesbians, short, hairy, butch, squat, horrible.
Oh, that sounds hot. That
it looked like fucking two pit bulls trying to eat out a pot noodle. It was just gross, just grotesque, horrible shit. It's horrific. Bad.
But if you are a gay man, then you're never gonna find any video of like women sexually engaged with each other like as like even remotely arousing. You know what I mean? Like you could show me what you consider to be like the hottest gay porno video ever, and I just watch it and be like, nah, like it doesn't do it for me. You know what I mean?
Well, I did before we started recording, and you had an erection, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Thanks for exposing me. You know, like can't even let me have my like false straight identity. I see how it is.
Right. You don't come across as straight.
I know. Don't remind me.
You don't.
I had a date go south last year. Well, I say south. It was a fine date until the end where she went, sorry, I don't think this can continue because I thought you were gay.
What did make her think that?
I was like, I think I was like, at that stage I was experimenting with like painting my nails, and I was like, had like long hair and a beret, and like, just like, I'm a very effeminate man, which doesn't do me favours. It's like this kind of like, in like this sort of like society that like for some reason reveres like trad mask kind of like misogynistic men, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a problem, isn't it? If you like murdered a bunch of women and didn't paint your nails, you'd do much better.
Yeah, I mean this is kind of veering into incel territory here, but I definitely do have a problem where like a lot of women do think I'm gay. A lot of men think I'm gay.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people just think I'm gay generally. And it's just
your parents thought you were gay.
I think they probably did, to be honest. And it's just like, just because I'm like not, just because I don't lift weights and like molest people, you know, like, you know what I mean? It's like, but I do think like the future man will look more like me, do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's like the ideal for society.
You really are fucking Hitler, aren't you?
No,
I am the ideal for society.
But I'm like good Hitler. I'm like the foil to Hitler, you know what I mean?
You're good Hitler.
Yes, Hitler's bad Hitler, I'm good Hitler.
You're good Hitler.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd kill the right people off.
Yeah.
He killed the wrong people off.
Let's list them. So, the neurotypical, the buff straight men. Who else? Who else needs to go?
Who would I get rid of if I
Drink
could?
some more whiskey while you think.
What's that?
Drink some more whiskey while you think. Come on.
Go on, I'll finish my whiskey while I think.
Let's really get it out to you.
Who would I extinguish? I think probably people that love shit reality TV.
Right.
And like when I say I'd get rid of them, I obviously don't mean this literally, but like there is like a genuine thought in my mind. It's like, what do you bring to existence? You know what I mean? Like you actually are just like a NPC. Do you know what I mean?
Right. If someone says, "Have you seen Love Island?" or "What happened?" like, or the drama, you're like, you need to die.
Basically, yeah. Well, it's like whenever I've watched Love Island, and like because my friends have been casually watching it or anything, I've just always been watching it like, these people are just so boring. They're not worth revering. They're not worth idolizing whatsoever. You know what I mean? Especially the men on like Love Island. Like the men are always gimps to like the nth degree.
Right.
Love Island fodder. You know that could go on my genocidal list. Who else would I get rid of? People who are pro-life or anti-abortion, they can get killed. You know what I mean? Just so they know what it feels like to be aborted. I thought that deserved a laugh, but fine. I see.
Abortion. Let's go on abortion then. That sounds fun. Do you know the person who was like started Planned Parenthood? She started it to like kill black babies. You know that?
What?
The person who started Planned Parenthood in America.
What, like abortion?
No, not started abortion.
Well, like
started,
contraception and that?
No. The organisation Planned Parenthood is
right.
So there's different organisations that will do abortions, but Planned Parenthood was made by a woman who put these centres specifically in black neighbourhoods, like ghetto areas, just so that she could help reduce the black population.
Jesus, that's so scum.
Woke.
That's so
Woke,
evil.
innit?
It's not woke. It's like the opposite of woke. It's like pure evil.
So in that sense, maybe abortion was a good thing, but you know, I don't know.
Abortion's a great thing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a fantastic thing. It like gives women agency over their own bodies.
I don't they have too much agency though. Like, aren't they making too many decisions?
What do you mean? Like as much agency as they like deserve?
Maybe if we like had a more communal setting, people would have less individuality. So
I can't believe you're like weaponizing community against me to like be pro-life. That's the first.
These people making individual decisions about their lives and their bodies is really.
It's like if you're pro-abortion, you're a fascist.
You're
like,
a capitalist.
It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Part of what makes a community flourish is to give people like agency over their own physical existence. That means like if they're pregnant and they don't feel like they can go through with it, they like have the right to like not do that. Like ultimately, the thing is like only like a cisgender woman or somebody who's like born woman can get pregnant, and I will never know what that feels like. You know what I mean?
Are you saying there's a difference between women who are born women and women who are trans?
Not necessarily.
Trying to get you in a gotcha.
I know you are, but like I'm not falling for your traps there. But what I'm trying to say is like anybody who was built to be pregnant, I will never know what that feels like, right? And like because of that, like I think to have an opinion on like whether abortion should be legal or illegal, I just think it's just so like arrogant. You know what I mean? Like imagine if women tried to make like ejaculating illegal, you'd be like, what? Like fuck off! It's just like a bodily function. You know what I mean?
Well, it feels like they are when I'm trying to do it on the train, and they're like, "You got to stop that." You know, come on.
Oh, I wonder why they didn't receive that well.
My body, my choice. You know.
Maybe. I mean, there's kids around. You know, like it's like.
I checked, and there was no kids on that train, sir.
Okay, that makes it fine then.
Okay, I'm glad you got there.
But yeah, like what are you like not for abortion? Are you anti-abortion?
I don't have a normal position on abortion. I don't have normal positions on most things. But abortion, I think there are some cases in which an abortion should be forced. Like for example, if the woman is mentally ill, or is likely to like harm the child once it's born.
Right.
Like it would make sense to force an abortion to prevent the harm that would be done.
But you don't think like a woman who don't feel comfortable going through a pregnancy, they shouldn't have that right?
I think that if a woman is in a position where she doesn't want to have the baby, the services available to bring up the baby, like foster care or adoption, are so bad, and the outcomes for the children are so bad that it would make sense to allow the abortion. But also, some women who want to have a baby probably shouldn't, and maybe should have an abortion, even if it's against their will.
Right.
Which is dramatically different to what the argument against abortion is, and is also like a bit of a quandary. So what do you think about that? What do you think about forced abortions in some cases? Like a schizophrenic woman who's gonna like beat the shit out of a kid or like kill a baby, should she be forced to have an abortion?
I don't know how you'd verify that. Like, I don't know how that's something you could measure.
Well, there's an argument on abortion you've not had to deal with before.
Forced abortions. I have to get back onto you on that.
Yeah.
I've never considered that before.
No.
Because I've been so preoccupied with like whether or not like it should be allowed from the woman's perspective.
See, I'm super woke. I'm like,
I know, like I wasn't expecting
with.
this, Mr. Winter, for you to like outwoke me, like make me feel like conservative, like. But I guess it's like Clockwork Orange, isn't it? It's like whether the state can truly intervene and like fix something. It's like that's a question in of itself.
I thought you were gonna say like you've got to watch abortions now. Like you've got to have your eyes peeled back and you've got to watch them.
Oh yeah. No, I get it now. Women have agency over their own bodies. It's like you should have said that after you raped that lady. And he actually did rape a lady in Clockwork Orange as well. But I bet you love that film with the libertarian in the wheelchair. Like that's gotta be me when I'm older.
Who's that?
Do you not remember the guy whose wife gets raped by Alex and then she kills herself and then later on he bumps into him again and realises he was the one who raped his wife and he's like a self-professed like libertarian who's like, oh yeah, we should all have rights, blah blah blah, but then goes completely against that and just like basically tries to like drive him to kill himself by playing Beethoven. Do you not remember that? It's like the essential thematic like crux of the entire film.
I'll be honest, I watched it when I was like 11 or 12. I don't remember.
Way too young to watch that film.
Oh, God.
Great film though, it's a fucking masterpiece.
You know what I've realised?
Go on.
We barely got into any French New Wave.
Yeah, because you shunned the conversation before I even could.
I know, we were supposed to go on like French New Wave, then political figures, philosophical figures, went into Ayn Rand. This has been a wild podcast.
It has.
It has.
It definitely has, yeah.
And ended on abortion as well. Or unless trans. One last go at trans.
You keep trying to. You clearly want to bring the trans thing up, so like go.
I'm just trying to get representation into this podcast. I'm trying to be diverse as possible. I'm woke. I identify this way. I've got a joke I'm trying to do where I say I'm woke now, but I'm kind of sick of like woke white people who are the most racist people in the world.
Right.
They refuse to call black people black because they think, oh, the word's a bit icky and it's a bit harsh, so they call them people of colour.
Right.
And I just think, that's a bit mad to think, you can rename a whole race of people. You don't own black people anymore, you know that.
It's news to me that the term black is racist.
It is, like woke people won't call black people black.
Really?
That's people
nonsense.
of colour.
I'll have to look into that because I've never once encountered the idea that like calling someone black is racist.
Yeah, it's like people of colour is like the term you have. That's more like an American thing, but you have
Right.
to say people of colour instead of black.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
Farage is a good person as well, isn't he?
Oh yeah, you don't get better than Faraz. What a guy. He's just like someone you meet in a pub, you know what I mean? Need more of that in politics, like just some fella you drink a pint with.
You're not happy with a lot of the things I've said here.
No, I mean, I think these kinds of conversations are important to like bridge like political differences together. But like I said, like I do think the problem with politics now is that like it's very much like no one understands what the other side is saying anymore. So it becomes very much like a kind of like it's like the straw man fallacy. It's like you create a false representation of what someone's actually saying and then beat that up instead of like actually like engaging with what they actually said. And both the right and the left are very guilty of that.
So what you're saying is you'd be Hitler but a good version.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can write that on my gravestone. Good Hitler, what a guy, killed all the right people off.
Yeah. And you're the ideal man that everyone should become.
Yeah, exactly. I am like the ideal man. The masculine ideal. He says in his green corduroy pants and the fucking stripy jumper.
Good, that's fun. I'm a bit lost now.
That's fine. We're all lost in life.
We're all lost in life. You must have like something good or inspirational for the people to hear.
Inspiration for the people?
Yeah.
What, like my message to
the world?
The world. Be yourself, radically so. Don't listen to what others tell you should be.
Even if that's like someone who is anti-abortion and trans rights and all this kind of stuff. Be it radically so. Be it as best as you can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'll get found out very quickly.
That's a good concession to make on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, it's like Doug Stanhope does this great bit on like how if child porn got sponsored and everyone were like, oh, would you have child porn on TV? And he's like, well, like, no, because it wouldn't last, like, no one would watch it. It's like a bad argument, like eventually, like, I just realised, like, this is a terrible thing to put on TV. It's the same kind of point, like, if you're gonna be a horrible pro-lifer dickhead, eventually you'll just realise your arguments are invalid, and you'll get found out. So if you're going to be yourself radically so, yeah, be the scumbag you are and realise how morally inept you are. But don't shag kids, that's bad.
Right, don't be like left-wing philosophers. No, it's bad. It's very bad. So many.
Don't be a continental French philosopher. Yeah,
they're so bad. So many of them. Such nonsense.
You can be a continental French philosopher in terms of the ideas they have, just not in the fucking person they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
But unfortunately, a lot of philosophers are bad people when you look at their biographies. You know, but
let's also get a French New Wave film to recommend people to watch. The best one.
Sure, Cleo from 5 to 7. It's a fucking incredible film. It's about a singer who's awaiting test results on a cancer examination, and she's really paranoid and obviously like existentially terrified about the fact that like she's like got to confront this intense illness, and it follows her life in Paris between the hours of 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Hence the title, Cleo from 5 to 7. Like as she waits on these test results, basically, and like the experiences she has in those 2 hours. But it's a gorgeous film. It's really well shot, and it's like a powerful examination on finding humanity in moments of crisis, and how, despite the fact we are essentially these weak, morbid, like mortal creatures that can disappear at any moment, we still find beauty in our everyday life. It's a fascinating film. I would recommend it to anyone. It's one of my favourite films of all time.
And if you can't watch it, you can subscribe to Crunchyroll to watch the latest Islamine after Gaza has been bombed into the ground by what was a very attractive young Netanyahu who's maybe lost a bit of his looks over the year, but you can still tell he was a fitty back in the day. This has been the Mr. Winter Show with Sam Alexander, New Hitler.
That's right.
It's been very fun.
Good Hitler.
Good Hitler.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have fun.
Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.